20 sitting on the floor. Got myself a 40 and I picked it up to go. 2 drops in my tank and now I'm about to hit the road. Don't know where we're headed, but make sure to close the door. Wait, hold up. Hate to be the one to tell you no. Looking like you wanna speed up when I wanna take it slow. See, I could be the one that finally wants to take you home, but we don't want nobody else, yeah, you know how it goes. And now we're two-stepping, you spinning with the bass while I move with it. We both headed to my place. No, don't wanna be the one you get to know, cause in a matter of minutes you gon' have to hit the road. If I didn't know no better, I'd probably ghost you later. Don't you know you're so plastic? I let it get emotional and go bash. And my moves are tight, I tiptoe down about it. Alleyways to start a fight. I'm spotted nervous and I think that I'm just passing out. But batter went head and throw my lights out. I gaslight, I fly high and you know.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, start it.
Good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here now back in live at the one and only Entities Campfire. A huge matchup here presented to us today. I'm a little confused, no lie. We had a slightly rough start. I had something to deal with in person very quickly, but we are back and actually here with Hysteric versus Vicinal. Now, interesting matchup as this is more of a older gen team compared to a new gen team. However, there are players here that are, of course, not new faces. We do know Boofy is a player that has played for Hysteric a very short time. They have made the team from what I'm very sure, but they are playing currently against a lot more, I think I should say, bit more foundation. They've been all around a lot longer right now, as we're going to be seeing a fairly solid serve roster indeed. Chasing currently Bronzy is going to be taking all the way over towards 4. We're seeing the Bubba on DES, a huge matchup now. We're actually going to realize the true danger of Bubba on a map like this. The chainsaw, especially with the little amount of pallets that we have here presented to us. Trying to go for that swing, going to be seeing the greed through from Bronzy now. Bronzy's keeping himself here front of main, making sure not to get sniped. Maybe actually going to be going forward, looking for what seems to be a pallet, but that's a little bit risky. Now forced into a bit of a tougher spot. We do have Bamboozle as well, which might be utilized here very soon, as all the survivors are going to know about it very quickly. You can only assume so they're going to have to play around it very perfectly. 3 perks still hidden towards, or sorry, 2 perks still hidden towards the survivors. I'm actually looking at them right now, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a little dangerous to see something like that, especially on a map like this. So this person's definitely trying to look for an interesting play indeed, but it seems like the down is going to happen here. Unfortunately, unable to make the locker. That is going to be 0 tantrum coming through. And now Boofy's going to be looking at the first down of the game for Hysteric very early on at 5 gens. And now we're seeing the danger of the build. Agitation with, oh my lord, iron grip. Never ever seen before in the comp scene, I would say, at least nowadays, as this is not a build that you look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone is getting hooked at basement. Doesn't matter where you're at. Good hesitation there from the Meg, however, not going to be grabbing the stun, is instead going to be looking at that pallet. Now, the rest of the survivors are not going to be able to grab the save here safely. They're going to have to do an incredible play to get through without having an instant death into basement, as well as, especially since it was so early, is a really big struggle, and a huge 3-gen I'm watching here that he's able to easily protect without any issues. However, they're going to work it in his face, making sure that they're not going to be pressured continuously. That's going to be the Meg showing themselves. Could have probably committed there for a second, but it seems like we're actually going to be going back now, going to be interrupting another survivor. They're going to be Vamp inside his shack. First end of the game is going to pop. That's going to be the Meg that ended up getting it on top, but now Vamp is keeping himself away from the shack. He managed to get away scot-free without using many resources at all. Only 1 vault, but of course it's not going to matter now, as it is going to reset very soon. But now pressure on top of multiple of these gens. Grease0 making sure that he can keep himself there. Vamp caught out of position. That's going to be the down here very soon, as he's unfortunately going to be unable to make the locker. No! Instead, he is, as the Tantrum is now going to come through, and he's looking for an opportunity to go forward. Perfect timing from Vamp, making sure that he grabs a completely safe tag there without being pressured much. Now, he is going to be forced into another tough spot. He's going to be forced to go back, as it seems like now the pressure's on to see who grabbed the save, but they are going to be able to make it up beyond that. Vaulting there, that's going to be the ace as well. Grease0 keeping himself away as well, but it seems like the focus is going to be on top of Bronze, who's going to be left at Shack to play with not only the window, but also use the pallet. It seems like the pallet's going to be in play here. No, instead we're going to be greeting, going over towards the wagon, still keeping himself around, going to be seeing the instant break there, now forcing himself over towards a shorter pallet. Could be easily mind-gamed here, but it seems like he's just going to be going for the break. Oh, now he's playing for the M1. Making sure that he can grab the distance, and he grabs even more. Now an even more unsafe pallet, in my opinion, is not going to be utilized and in play. However, he's going to be playing alongside, making sure that he doesn't completely destroy himself out of proportion here. 3 gens are going to be popped as well, 2 remaining, keeping him and forcing him over towards the pallet that was dropped. However, he's not going to have much to use. Good little mind game there. He's going to be faking that. Now just looking for an opportunity to go forward. More hesitation. Bronze keeping himself around the pallet, making sure that he continues his chase and keeps his distance in check. But it seems like the down is going to come through anyways, as no pallets are here to support this chase beyond its limit. Very good plays here by Vicinal though, but Hysteric is going to keep themselves in the running. 2 gens remaining with 1 death is a pretty solid pace, but the difficulty is now going to be presented to us via, oh yeah, whether they were going to be doubling or not. 1 gen remaining right now. Boofy tasked with protecting a very split amount of gens. He's checking on top of main. He does see scratch marks. This is going to be a survivor. Kicking it. That's going to be Blastmind, wasting a lot of time here as well. But I don't believe that we're going to be seeing a chase here anytime soon. Survivors are going to be forced to stealth this out, especially if they're over there near 9, because we do not want to use too much time on chases. We want to use as much time possible working on gens while keeping the killer at bay. Goofy's now moving over towards what seems to be 4 orcs, depending on where you're from. 7, swinging down directly on top of the Meg right now. Meg out of position, is actually going to be forced to completely vault on top. Now going to be going forward for the next one, but is unfortunately going to be unable. Goofy hesitating. A massive amount is going to be looking at a tantrum, which is not going to hit the Meg, as Meg is actually going to be moving over towards Water Tower, not going to be trying to zone them completely, breaking this pallet instantaneously, forced to play in an unfortunate situation, and this is where Meg's chase is going to end, as they are not going to be able to make anything unless they're somehow able to play around that. But instead of hugging it, they try to play for the flick and are going to go down instantly. 2K6 now going to be presented to Boofy, whether he wants to try and take something like that or not, or he can try to aim for 2K7, but it seems like main was the one that was popped, so if he's going to have to greed for that, he's going to have to get an insane chase here without getting completely ran, as now Vicinal is going to be just working on top of the gate, most likely, maybe even a survivor already on top of it, so they can just pop and get out. And it seems like even with that, no, that is not going to be the case. Someone was quickly there, 1 light used, and that is going to be Vamp shown to us, not out of position, in a good spot to at least run towards a resource, but Slasher is going to be saved, meaning that Grease0 is on top of that and not on a gate. An unfortunate situation for Vicinal, as now they're looking at a 2K7. Unless Boofy wants to keep greeting and go for more, he definitely can. He can definitely hook even closer than he wants to. He could very easily hook on top of the gate, and no one's going to be able to do anything about that, giving him a little bit more time to potentially do something here. But it seems like he's going to be trying to greed for it instead. No, but they are going to be on top of the gate. He's going to be force popped. Vamp now going to be going off of the hook. The Meg is actually now in a very safe spot, but I don't think they're going to be utilized here correctly. Grease0 is going to be showing himself. If he goes down here, that is going to be an incredible play. Insane Firecracker, getting him a lot of distance, but he's not going to be looking for even more of an opportunity to keep going forward. He's just going to be going over towards Shack more and more. Both survivors going to be leaving, and unfortunately for him, that is going to be Grease0 making the hatch. And an insane 1K play by Vicinal, making sure that they can get the 3 out there with only 5 stages. An incredible performance from them indeed, as now Hysteric is going to be tasked with 1K4 as their minimum win condition. Let's see how they're going to be able to respond to it in the next match after our... Good Lord, it's been...
Right, hella tight, fits too bad, I don't wanna fight. Pound of 20 sitting on the floor. Got myself a 40 and I picked it up to go. 2 drops drops in my tank and now I'm about to hit the road. Don't know where we're headed, but make sure to close the door. Wait, hold up, hate to be the one to tell you no. Looking like you wanna speed up when I wanna take it slow. See, I could be the one that finally wants to take you home, but we don't want nobody else, yeah, you know how it goes. And now we're two-stepping, you spinning with the bass while I move with it. We both headed to my place, no, don't wanna be the one you get to know, cause in a matter of minutes you gon' have to hit the road. And now we're two-stepping, you spinning with the bass while I move with it. We both headed to my place, no, don't wanna be the one you get to know, cause in a matter of minutes you gon' have to hit the road. And now we're two-stepping, you spinning with the bass while I move with it. We both headed to my place, no, don't wanna be the one you get to know, cause in a matter of minutes you gon' have to hit the road. We don't wanna tell you what I'm gonna do. to feel the hate inside of me. Fuck their lives, I'll eat their hearts, the only thing that brings me peace.
Avada Kedavra, bitches do not wanna smoke, you don't want the drama. Quit all the huffing and puffing, I'm stuffing these ops, I like diggery, don't be a martyr. Slithering shit on my charm, sinks around me anaconda. Cruise to your starter, hit that Raven Club bitch in the back, now she calling me daddy, but I ain't a father, fuck it. Don't me, incendio stick, bro, slowly. Levioso on this bitch, I'm floating. Ancient magic with the shits, I'm goaded. Run it, come bring it with the beam, you're the thing, hot skirt up on the nimbus when I'm checking out a green.
Now back and live at the one and only Entities Campfire. We're here with Vicinal on the Bubba right now against Hysteric. Now, interesting start of the match here today as we're actually looking at a 1k4 win con for the survivors, which already is going to look like that is going to be incredibly achievable as Litos goes down super fast, and it seems like a slug play was almost in order here. They're going to be crawling down bottom side to try and avoid the basement hook, but unfortunately for Litos, that is going to be impossible as the basement hook is going to happen no matter what. No, unless we're still aiming for it at Pain Res. Shown to us right now is it only 2 Sir Perks are actually shown to the survivors. Very fast. We're already knowing a lot about the killer, but the game started too fast for us to be actually be able to process things. So as our killer here is going to give us some time to, of course, reassess ourselves. I'm your caster, Sko, and here is Hysteric versus Vicinal, as once said. Now, a huge opportunity as well for Vicinal is to simply grab a 2k6 or 1k6. A 2k is, of course, probably the safest result, but of course, you know, you can play for minimum result. It's each their own. Never really a huge problem for anyone to begin with, but it seems like right now, Bubba is just going to keep himself around the hook, making sure that there are 0 problems arising with anybody trying to grab the save. After all, a down that fast is super beneficial for the health of the game going forward. But nothing is happening here. No action presented to us whatsoever, as we're just making sure that everything goes fine and dandy. First end of the game is going to pop here. Quickly going to be on main as Litos is actually going to be moving over towards the second state now. It seems like our killer might just leave. I believe so, yep. And they are going to be moving over towards another gen. Now, they are popping gens very fast, but their progress is very minimized due to how quick that down was. So we're going to have to see how much pressure is here exactly. Boofy, caught out of position, is going to make a pallet, however, is going to be a little bit close, so he's going to be forcing this quick break here, making his way over towards Wagon. He makes it there safely, but more work is going to be presented to us as soon as these pallets are going to be disappearing, as it seems like that is going to be agreed, it seemed, as he goes for, wait, did he drop the pallet or he vaulted the window? I assume it would be the window, and it's going to be going back over towards the gen. I don't think he panicked that much. But he's definitely now not going to be the focus. Instead, we're going to be moving back over to Litos, who's actually not going to be dead on second or first hooks, which is very good for Hysteric indeed, as Vicinal is now going to have to chase the survivor, make sure that they can get that kill. Lux coming out of nowhere, setting up head on like a demon, is going to get him a lot more time, and in fact, even lose him for a tiny bit. However, we are still going to be on the tail, as Vicinal is not that easily fooled. So we're still chasing after them, holding that check spot there. That is going to be the scratch marks leading away from main building, making sure that they are taking it away from active gens, which is very safe for these survivors. Indeed, Litos not going, or now actually going to be mind game, not realizing that playing the T-wall window is not the play here, as they could easily double back and do exactly that as they greed every single time instead of running forward. So the first death of the game is going to happen at 3 gens, super early on, a lot faster than what Hysteric was able to perform, as now simply one more hook is going to be the loss of the win condition. And we're moving on towards the tie condition. Oh. Right now, Boofy is going to be in chase. The whole weight of the team's condition resting on top of his shoulders. We're going to be seeing right here a zone, as he's actually going to be keeping himself around this rock, making sure that he can waste even more time possible. But it seems like Shaq is actually going to be in play here. Maybe. Could he actually even greed and go for the window? But it seems like not. He's going to be greeding for it. An insane stun there. But Enduring is going to be working against him. Boofy trying to quickly grab a flashlight blind, but is not going to be able to. Now going to be seeing another gen pop, 1 gen remaining. A lot of pressure on top of these gens. This is actually looking a lot more possible for Hysteric. However, another person is going to be in chase, as Lux is now the one sole survivor once more, as we switched from Boofy to him as well. Was going to be able to grab that chainsaw, however, it is going to completely switch. Is going to be playing around this. Now going to be forced to use this window to our advantage. W keying all the way forward and making sure that he can still keep himself around here. Oh, but he runs out. He doesn't go for it. He doesn't grab that insane potential chance. Nodding on top of his face is going to be able to make this pallet safely as well. But whether he makes anything after it is going to be a complete mystery to us, as he realizes now that Bamboozle is going to be in play. A lot of danger presented once more, but they are going to pop the final gen, showing himself around once more. Oh, Lord, an insane W key, but unfortunately it is not going to work out completely. What the? He misses? What am I looking at? He makes it back over towards Shaq window. Now going to be vaulting it instantaneously. He has more resources to use, but it seems like he's just going to be moving over towards the complete front main. Oh, quick 50-50. He's going to have to be one here, and unfortunately he creates for the stun. Lux goes down instead of safely trying to play for it, and he nods in his face, knowing that now it is going to be impossible for Hysteric to win unless they somehow grab a flashlight save or some type of ingenious play, but that is just not going to work out for them. They're going to pop the gate and take a 2K6. Despite having such a hard fought mid-game, Vicinal is going to take it through, having a smooth sail with an easy result presented to them each time. As now we wait for the action of our survivors. I'm sure they will realize that this is legitimately impossible. Basement Bubba has never ever been possible in the history of any world, to be honest. Running into the basement, now going to be seeing the chainsaw used up. He's going to be hopping on top of the locker. He should have probably waited for him to be using that right now. Maybe going to be looking at a bit of a flashbang save. No, it was poorly mistimed as they end up pulling off of the hook. What could have been an insane play ended up just being an instead dastard result, as he mistimes the firecracker save completely. Boofy staying in basement for some reason is still keeping the game alive, but it seems like he's just going to be zoning and waiting for him as he downs him after the vault. Lux, now being the last survivor standing, is most likely over just towards the gate. He's not going to be worrying about the save. What was a 2K6, or what could have been even less if the plays simply allowed it, turned into a 3K10. Dangerous result that I don't think any Bubba would be able to beat it unless they had some insane slug play, or the survivor simply made huge mistakes. And it seems like the mistakes were on the side of Hysteric, as Vicinal is going to be completely taking this forward with 1-0 as we wait for our survivors to completely tie out. Which honestly, I'm a little confused. Thank you, Boofy. But 0 pain res is used. At least one was, but I don't think much progress was taken off of it. No, it was full use, I believe. It was full use. They had 3 gens that they popped in a very quick succession, but unfortunately it wasn't. I think they interrupted the one that was pain res, unless that was main. No idea, but knowing that the result was given to us, 1-0, of course, is going to be the score to beat, as we're going to be moving on to the next set here at Hysteric versus Vicinal, brought to you by your caster Sko, and of course the good people here at Entities Campfire. But we will see you all after our intermission and these hopefully short messages.
Imperial shit, make a switch shots, find me in the field with Judge Fred. Twin Glocks, Draco, shit, but I ain't talking about mouthful. This Wango, spit, Cruise the audio back, boy. This chopper. Yeah, you know where I'm at, boy. I don't miss when I'm doing this. Slytherin, Slytherin, Draco, shit. But I ain't talking about Malfoy. This Wango, spit. Cruise the audio back, boy. This chopper. Yeah, you know where I'm at, boy. I don't miss when I'm doing this. Slytherin, Slytherin.
Unforgivable. First with the killing curse, first, yeah, I'm killing you. Come and finger blood like the homie Tom Riddle do. Marvel at the Tommy on these butters on Riddle do. Don't know why you asked for this, I'm hands to this. I spit straight acid shit, I damn it shit. I show you what the magic is, cause the chipper keeps it, cause don't basilisk, yeah.
Pulse the tongue in this bitch. Shawty fuck with my wrist. Glaciers on my neck. Now she giving me neck. Lumos bitch, I get lit. Text me separate my clips. Seeing out but don't miss. Griffin talks in my sight. Defend no shit, it's on sight. See my wand, you dip, little bitch like Bombarda. What you gonna do, boy? Said nada. Whip shit like Severus, bitch, I'm elegant. This house code, I'm Prada. Chop a chomp like Chinese Kevin. Big one stick, finish with Joe Kevin. All of clips disappear like magic. Tell us our shit, I'm a pure blood savage. Draco, shit. But I ain't talking about Malfoy. This Wango, spit. Cruise the audio back, boy. This chopper. Yeah, you know where I'm at, boy. I don't miss when I'm doing this. Slytherin, Slytherin, Draco, shit. But I ain't talking about Malfoy. This Wango, spit. Cruise the audio back, boy. This chopper. Yeah, you know where I'm at, boy. I don't miss when I'm doing this. Slytherin, Slytherin.
It's 10 o'clock before I say a word. Baby, I can never tell. How do you sleep so well? You keep telling me to live right, to go to bed before the daylight. But then you wake up for the sunrise. You know you don't gotta pretend. Baby, now and then, don't you just wanna wake
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here now back in live with Hysteric versus Vicinal, brought to you, of course, by your caster Skull, also known as Spectral, with the good people here at Entity's Campfire. As we say and stay, once again, with a seemingly fast-paced match brought to us, hopefully, by our Wesker, which is going to be, of course, on CT1, a very basic set nowadays, and a very interesting one indeed, as many plays can be presented to us in a very, I'd like to say, fun fashion. Goofy going to be the first chase, taking it around Shaq, which is a very dangerous loop indeed. Insane little medium vault there, keeping himself out of the sights of the bound. Now, however, I would leave here personally. Oh, and he does. I would leave there because, as everyone knows, Shaq is a very difficult loop against Wesker, and it's not recommended, I'd say. It's very good advice to try to use Shaq to chain and move on forward, but it seems like that is not going to be the case, and instead we're going to be looking at a good old W key. Now, Chase going to be moving over towards Litos, who's going to be dropping very preemptively. Not going to be looking for a tag, going to be dodging that, of course, with balance, keeping himself away, using an exhaustion fairly early on, however, but he doesn't get tagged, and that's all that matters. Could be seeing an early tag here. Insane launch, but the track glitch is going to still, of course, be in the game, and is still going to keep him alive. And Insane, well, it wasn't a play by Litos, but it was definitely something that worked out in the end for them. Big tag there as the Wesker is going to be moving forward and is now actually going to be looking for it. Ooh, that would have been a dangerous mind game. Going back around, we are going to be seeing main in utilization fully as the chase is going to be committed back onto Litos, as that is an injured survivor. Support coming through from Boofy. He's trying to see if maybe he can try to throw the killer off, but the killer is going to turn, getting himself a little bit more distance without using anything preemptively. But that is going to be another vault. Could he win that? And it seems like he is. I don't think they have much of a difference in ping, but it might just be enough for him to be able to make something like that. However, no risks are going to be taken. Back over at 9, we're still going to be using this God Filler now, and not sure. Oh, I am not going to lie. That shouldn't have happened. Dropping it there was a huge mistake by Litos, and I feel like that could have went a lot better. But 2 gens are going to pop, so Hysteric isn't completely in the gutter. But they are going to have a chance of bringing this back. You hear the Claudette scream off in the distance as the gen was reduced by 20%. Painrez is a very formidable opponent to any generator, and of course pressure on a team. However, it's only 1 gen. So they may be able to pop that. No, we do see, wait, nope, that's going to be Ron. Ron shown at the edge. Boofy is also in the area, so we could be seeing, was that Boofy? No, that's Boofy over there. I thought for a second I saw him like stealthing around the boxes. That would have been very questionable. Not only for Boofy, but also for G-Bot to not catch something like that. But it seems like we are going to be seeing him at 10, so no, that was not the play. That was not exactly what happened. Charging back over towards the complete... Oh, he's actually going to be able to get this. He does have Egg. No, instead he's not going to be going for that. He's just going to save it for a second. Chase is going to go on top of not Lux, but Litos is now... Litos is actually not going to be showing... Boofy almost out of position, is going to be completely dodging that. An insane... reaction time from G-Bot, being able to quickly catch on to that survivor. Quick drop there from Litos. We do know this is going to be balanced, so he's going to get a bit of distance on top of it. He's going to have to dodge this. An Insane to bound is going to grab just a nasty down on top of Litos. 2 stages on the board as they were saved before second, as they were not completely camped to finish. But now Chase is going to focus on top of Boofy, who is seen over here at main, is going to be taking the long side around, and G-Bot's just going to be breaking the door main and the pallet as we move into the present. Are now going to be going over towards 4. 4 has a bit of progress on top of it, not enough to completely pressure and scare off G-Bot, but it seems like it's enough for him to be sticking around a little bit. He's kind of hovering in between them, making sure that nothing is completely taken safely. As it seems like now we're going to be seeing the support and the save coming in through here from Boofy. Boofy trying to look for a block thanks to Litos, as now Litos is going to be tagged, going back up on top of main once more. An insane amount of pressure, as that is actually going to be exactly what they need to be able to pop 4. Death here could very easily happen at 1 gen remaining, as it is not going to be fast enough for that. But is he actually going to be able to last long enough for not only that, but the 5th gen? staying around here. It seems like they were trying to mind game the rock, but Litos is going to be completely W-keying, showing himself in front of the killer, now going to be moving over towards a Saber, who is going to be Ron as he comes in and takes a hit. And now, oh, this could be another 2-tap, but he's keeping himself in front of a tree. Support coming in through here from Lux, but too much emphasis on the egg is going to completely loosen the tunnel out, as now the sights are going to be focusing on top of Boofy. He's now going to be moving back over from 1 towards a Z-wall. Light going to be used here in play. No, still going to be sticking around this, thinking he's somewhat of a demon. He is actually going to grab a little bit of distance on top of it, and he wastes just a few seconds, not anything without taking a tag, as Litos is now going to be focusing on getting reset, as we do see that right here presented to us once more. He's going to grab that. Ooh, that could have almost been an instant down, which would have been devastating for Hysteric, but it seems like he's going to be able to survive for just a little bit longer. He's waiting for this 2 bounds. He doesn't wait for the first one. Now going to be looking for just a simple dodge. Going to be seeing a hit take coming through here. Oh, another dodge presented to us. He's not going to be able to grab this. He might just grab the tag instead, but he's waiting. Second one coming through. He looks for that. An instant down, as he's going to be unable to dodge that completely, as Litos wastes as much time as possible, but unfortunately it is not going to be enough to keep him alive, even with the shack loop alone, as they should have most likely focused on just getting him out of the hindrance, because that definitely ruined his chase up there a little bit, but he was able to dodge for a good while. So let's see if that was enough for them to be able to pop 1, and it seems like that is going to be the case. However, as we see on the right side, that is going to be Noah. The survivors aren't going to know about it unless they watch the speed. If they know the difference, that is going to be enough for them to take it through. But wait, this might be exactly what we need, as it seems like the Wesker is actually going to be looking for what seems to be a down with power, and he finds the injured survivor out of position. Now going to have to last a long while. If someone tries to go in for a 1-for-1, this could easily be exactly the dangerous. That complete down is going to come through. Slug play now going to be used. Only 3 stages on the board. This could have been easily a 2K6, but now right now it's looking like a 3K9, as he's looking for an opportunity to keep going forward. Champion of Light giving him a lot more distance than he actually needs. He is only injured, so he can definitely play around the power, looking for that quick down. It seems like he makes the window, but still keeping himself forward. He's not going to be looking at a down just yet. Support coming through from Ron right now, as it seems like he's going to be forced to pick Locker right now, as he forces it on top, and now Ron is going to be seen moving over towards the save. Is he going to try and drop? Is he going to try and greed? No, it seems like he's just going to be looking for that very quick pickup on top of Lux. His 2K6 is definitely going to be a big play here, but that was very smart of Boofy to keep himself alive like that. But still, they are not out of the woods just yet. They are completely zoned from main, unless they stayed on top of here completely, but it seems like maybe he's going to be trying to double back around by going into main, faking it over, and it seems like Now back and live with the potential final game here at Hysteric versus Vicinal. A lot of difficulty presented to not only the killer, but also the survivors, as the win condition for both sides is fairly even, but a lot of plays are going to have to be made here that are very important to be able to pull off something like this. Now, I believe, let me see. I mean, this is a very powerful add-on. I have not seen something like this in quite a long while. But a 2-tap is going to be in order, as Greasero is completely found out of position. Too fast for me to even realize something like that, as I was quickly just processing something. This isn't the final game, bro. I'm too tired of 2 sets today, man. I've been playing way too many 2 games. But with that being said, there is, I think, danger more and more shown to us as these survivors are actually not looking at a very solid start here. No cleaners is used, so there is not going to be any damage to the generators just yet, but Eruption is also in play here. We're actually going to be looking at not only that, but attack on top of G-Bot. G-Bot completely caught out of position, is actually going to be looking over towards Shaq as they run over with the distance from their hit, but it seems like that is not going to be a chase committed to. It's only pressure being used against them. Who's going in for save? Who's showing themselves? And it seems like no one just yet. We might be able to camp around this, maybe squeeze out a stage before someone gets any significant process on top of a gen. But G-Bot's going to be focusing on keeping himself healthy, making sure that the infection of Wesker's power doesn't completely destroy him via a hindrance. But no action is shown to us yet. We're still waiting around here. The minute that Greasero hits second stage is when Boofy's actually using bounds to leave. Not only that, is somebody going to show themselves last second to see if they can sneak and grab? But no, it seems like Boofy's actually going to be looking for the complete safety stage as they see the Meg over here at the corner near the seawall. Pallet Gem is a very powerful loop to use. I don't think against Wesker, but definitely in general. Maybe actually going to be going for save. Seemingly, Boofy is using a little bit of game sense here to keep himself at his peak, but I don't think he actually called it out, as it seems like Meg is not going to be going for the save. This is instead going to be keeping themselves around there. Unless they ran over, I doubt, because we don't see scratch marks and they don't disappear that fast, but they might be stealthing somewhere around 9. I don't think Boofy realizes this. Unless they're going to let him die. This is fairly early on to be letting somebody die, especially with a win condition like this, as they only need a 2K8 to completely confirm the game and win going forward. But, ooh, coming in sneakily, that's going to be the Meg, showing himself right behind the back of the Wesker. An insane play. Vicinal, of course, keeping the survivor alive. 2 gens are going to pop. They're going to be making it over towards the Pallet Gem. Unfortunately, an active gen, but of course, we are trying to avoid the tunnel out at 3 gens, which is very important for the health and the future of this game for Vicinal. It seems like we're actually going to be looking at not only that, but we're staying around this. Oh, that might have been bad. That might have been bad. I don't think he would have been able to pull it off in time, as Greasero does have very good reaction time. A lot of vouches for a player like that. But, oh, he runs over towards the window. Support coming through from G-Bot. G-Bot just going to be instantaneously taking the down. Going to be potentially looking at not only that, but a pain risk. But no, instead it's actually going to be the same hook. No, moving on forward behind main. We're seeing now the 3rd gen of the game pop. I almost expected a second, but I don't think they're going to be able to pull off something like that. Going to be seeing Painters finally be used. Minus 25% of a generator right there, I believe, at 8. As now we move over towards Shaq. We see scratch marks on the left. Somebody could be rotating forward. But no, instead they're going to be staying around here. Greasero, who is unfortunately going to be out of position, seeing support coming through from Slash. An insane slug play is not going to be in order, as this is not exactly what you want to be pulling off here. But of course, they do want to try and avoid this, so they are going to have to come back. It's not the end of the world. People do plays like this all the time. Save is going to be coming through from G-Bot right now, but the focus is completely onto Greasero, as he has only 1 stage remaining. Getting a kill here is very necessary for Boofy to actually win a game like this, as they are playing very close on the edge to losing here. But Greasero is, of course, getting actually a very powerful chase, keeping himself alive, and now playing 50-50s back-to-back. A pickup coming through, I believe, from Bronzy or another survivor. No eyes just yet. Oh, but the good W key, he tries to wait for that third vault, but of course the third vault is always an insane win for the survivor usually, but it seems like now we're actually just going to be looking at the double tag, trying to go around an insanely fast bound, but the reaction time from 3-0 is going to be keeping them alive. They're still keeping them around here as well. This is away from all the active gens, so they do need to try and not make too much distance. All 4 people going to be injured. Now sights are going to be focusing on top of Bronzy as the other person was also going over towards Shaq, going for that medium vault. Unfortunately unable as he completely snipes off to the right side. Too much distance against the survivor is going to completely destroy what any hopes they had of trying to grab a win like this. But I think with the perks we're looking at here, this is still possible. They might as well expect it. So the Meg is going to be showing themselves moving over towards 10. They might have made the window, but it seems like trying to skinny bird that was definitely a potential play. Good fake there. He W keys from the window. However, he's not going to make anything, so he's just going to be forced to pick lock. And now we are going to be looking at another pain res here, unless he goes over towards this hook at 11. Oh, it seems like it was too late to grab something like that. They might be able to pop the final gen, but all I do know is right now he needs one more stage, or sorry, no, one more fresh hook survivor and commit to them. There's a few more stages, and yes, he's going to be out of it. He's going to be out of the thick and thin, but he's going to need a kill on top of that, so he cannot completely get out of here. Going to be seeing the loud noise notification of a window, as we're in fact going to be seeing our tunnel out death hook survivor moving in towards the save, showing himself at 2, but it seems like that is not going to be the danger to him. Instead, he's actually going to be looking for G-Bot, who has slightly more stages on top of him as well. Going to be W King around the hill. This is going to be the death here, as unfortunately they're going to be able to to make anything, as everything is unavailable. Nothing 7, nothing 6, and nothing that they can at least make with the hindrance, and no exhaustions to support them completely. So in an unfortunate circumstance for a survivor here, that is not another painter, as I believe that was used on top of them. But we're going to be checking on, of course, onto Shaq, which it seems like there's going to be no one around here unless there's someone stealthing around. Boofy's making sure that that is not the case. And it seems like that is going to be Bronzy caught out of position. The ultimate play by Boofy, finding a survivor like this, a fresh one at that, out of position. As now the game is completely secured into his hands. As long as he sneaks out 2 more stages, he has not only reached the tie condition, but he's also completely thrown everything off balance with that skull amount right there. 7 stages right here. We're following it. Pallet isn't going to be broken, however. Remember, we do not have Brutal. What am I looking at? There's no way he has that hat on. This guy Boofy, playing with some weird looking add-ons, not playing with what people would consider to be the chase ones, which I feel like is more of a 4v1 advantage for him. I mean, it seems to be working out a little bit better than what they were able to perform before. Expecting a bit of a vault, as it seems like he wanted to try to kick it, but instead did not realize that somebody broke it with the power, and that is going to be the down onto Bronzy, now securing the 7-stage tie-con. As now WinCon is going to be shown to us. A survivor showing themselves very early on is going to be the complete destruction of Vicinal, as he does have Noah to his name. It's very far from him. He does see the people on the gate. Are they going to be trying to take the outs here? And it seems like maybe they might. I don't think it's the play here. They're just playing for this. Oh, but that's him. That's G-Bot out of position, moving back over, seeing somebody completely at 7. Not only that, but maybe even over towards 8. They are W King through. They're trying to see what distance. Oh, but they play around the check spots, and now they're looking forward just to try and grab, what is it, the gate? Or is it hatch? Staying around the serve as well is also a smart play. He needs to try and avoid this. He does find Slasher completely out of position with nothing to his name, no pallets, and no distance whatsoever. As unfortunately now with this hook, it is secured in Hysteric's favor as they clinch the amount of points that they need, especially grabbing the survivor. I don't think he's not fresh. No, he has 1 hook to his name, I remember. But now it's guaranteed, as the win for Hysteric is going to happen in this set with 1-1. Now moving on towards our 3rd set, as it was not, like I said, way longer ago in the first few minutes of the match. We are in for a best of 5, ladies and gentlemen. And with a 1-1 score, this might be something close. Unless some team randomly comes out of nowhere and just completely 2 or what is it, 3 ones. But we won't know until we actually see what goes on as we move on towards our next set after our intermission and these hopefully short messages.
I'm high, I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away. I'm a luminaire now, making moves that don't waste. I've been dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the crazy one cosign. Artificially intelligent AI. I'm your future past and present on a fine line. Yeah, I'm the missing link of the solution. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sing, I just float. I don't need gravity, I just need groove. Oh, oh, when I move it's in a quick rumble. I will never ever fall, ever stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble. I can go higher, past the stratosphere, I can catch fire. I can go hard, I don't even need to try it. Stop, but I don't even get tired. Predestined, written in stone. I feel it coming and I feel it in my bones. Heavily protected, never alone. Tempted, I'm connected to the unknown. When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I will never ever fall, ever stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble. When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I will never ever fall, ever stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble. Jericho, Jericho walls come down. Jericho, Jericho walls come down. Walls come down like Jericho. Walls come down like Jericho. Jericho, Jericho walls come down. Jericho, Jericho walls come down. Walls come down like Jericho. Walls come down like Jericho. Jericho, Jericho walls come down. Jericho, Jericho walls come down. Walls come down like Jericho. Walls come down like Jericho.
Dropping straight out the coffin, locked in. Guess now you're all out of options. Watchmen, I'm a dark knight, no Gotham. Decimate your regiments and tearing through your squadron. Rod and plead all your sins to bother, no caution. Drown out the screens with laughter, no conscience. Bow to go down like martyrs, and I'm burning out these Shermans like the Hindenburg disaster. Gun to your head, no, there's no turning back. Dead or alive like a Schrodinger's cat. They be like 9 with a 9 in their mouth, and like water, I'm known for disposing the trash. Better witness, I'm a madman. It's like Christmas when I pack mags, take a big ship and I crash land. It's like click, click, then it's bang, bang. You can understand me like I'm abstract. Hit the 21 shots like it's blackjack. Fuck the Vatican, ain't one for back chats. And I'm pale for the chest like I'm Vlad. Cannot clap back, it's not happening. I'm a monster of God like I'm Anderson. I'm smiting these heathens, no paladin. Cause with the way that they fight me, it's also embarrassing. Whipping at my jackal, so you know I bring the hounds. I'm a gunning down round after round after round after round after round. Every round of the mount of the body count. I'll be leaving puddles on the battleground. Getting loud, I'll be striking on the clock like Big Ben. When in doubt, hammer up the ante like a pitch bend. Your life is in danger, so major. The barrel is aimed like I'll feed a Zen. Blood on my hands, blood on my shoes, blood on the air. Blood on the ground, I'm on the move, better be scared. Blood on my lips, blood on my drip, blood in my lair. Enter the mists, if you insist, I'll answer your prayers. Blood on the walls, I'm unloading my shells. Blood in the street, hear the sound of the bells. London, this where the vampire dwells. Blood in the city, so welcome to hell.
and might be 2 survivors here actually. I don't know if it's the same guy. We're gonna have Chase on main. We're gonna see main building door broken out, and I feel like we're gonna drop this Chase. And we're gonna find somebody rotated down to this mid. We're gonna run all the way to Shack. Put Eruption down on this generator. And just keep looking around for a survivor. Hopefully someone caught out in a bad position. This Nancy definitely in a less good position than when he was originally chasing her with this window broken out. Gonna take the vault is... I think that's live. No, I don't think that was live. And we're just gonna keep over onto this good tile. Litos with some nice pathing here. Just gonna take to break. We're seeing the brutal strength there. And getting another filler pallet. See if Gbot can play around this. Litos with nice passing to play the long side instead of the short side. I think we're going to see the pallet drop. Another break zoned up to top where he dropped that pallet. Should see another hit coming in, or first hit coming in soon here. We have another God Rock. This is the new Coal Tower RNG where every God Rock possible spawns. We're going to drop that. Gonna see the brutal break again and keep going. This should in due time be the hit. Litos might make it to this other pallet as well. Just kind of clearing resources. Doesn't... Oh, goes for a nice swing on the medium. Litos still running, but gets that hit anyway. See a generator pop down on the bottom side. And just going to farm Litos for some blood here. See if he can get it down. But just going to play this pallet. We see Splintered Hull might try to make him vault a few times to get more blood. But Litos just not vaulting. Just running against the pallet until Gbot comes and wins that 50 and makes it to the main window. Gonna suck up a lot of that blood and get our power. Litos played that kind of bad pallet very well, very patient. And we're just gonna run all the way down. I imagine Gbot's gonna go look for a healthy survivor instead. Let Litos bleed on the bottom side of the map until he can get a down on somebody in his gen setup. He does have a nice kind of 4-gen top. They did pop 2 of those bottom gens, but you know, they might have progress on only that one other generator. Gbot definitely in a decent spot to just hold these topside generators for the rest of the game, but actually wandering all the way bottom to either interrupt the heal on Litos or looking for somebody else. Not a lot of progress on that last generator, but we do see a healthy survivor running to the top side and the reset on Litos. So good timing for Gbot to pop power. Got kind of the maximum amount of blood from Litos down at the bottom. See some good pathing playing around this God Rock. Actually going to be the down here onto Ron. And we should be able to drag this up to the top side. Nobody here for the pallet save. You kind of don't want to be grouping together against Oni power. And we're going to see how far up he can drag. I think he's not going to make that back main hook, and we agree. Just going to take the hook here. We see scratch marks over here. We know this is a dead zone. This should be Litos getting hit again. Kind of just nothing left here after his first chase. Not gonna make it to this pallet on the 4 lane. And he's gonna get power again. We see the unhook on Ron. We're just gonna get power and leave. Go back and try to keep our tunnel onto Ron. Looks like he was running down past us. Gbot might be leaving to find the healthy survivor. Actually just doesn't want to let anybody do anything in this gen setup. I don't think he saw that survivor, but they dropped pallets, so now he finds them. We're gonna have Chase on a villain at this, you know, kind of a decent tile to play against Oni. Makes the vault back, and we're about halfway through. There is no Lion Fang. We do see speed. Oh, actually catches Villain's pathing there a bit, and we're gonna see the down. Does not make it to this pallet. We do see the reset on Litos. I think we can pretty safely assume nobody's been on generators this whole time. But same hook situation, died exact same place as Ron. We're gonna take a pain res here, and I imagine go look for the reset spot, or go look for Ron. Yeah, we did heal. Looks like he found it. They just healed that shack. Kind of the safest place to heal, but also the most predictable place to heal. But not enough power, not enough blood for power, so kind of recoverable position for these survivors. We haven't seen Behoofy in a very long time. He could just be on one of these top generators. Even if he pops one of them, there is still 3 others. We're gonna have power and just check on these main generators, see if anybody's over here. He wants to find somebody in the split, and looks like Behoofy was working on this generator. Lots of progress. Gonna put Eruption on this and check. Oh, I think he actually saw Behoofy's little foot sticking out on this tile. I don't know if he's in the locker. I think... Oh! Okay, a little bit of an awkward spin. Behoofy kind of walked out in front of G-Bot, but we get the whiff, so Behoofy lives to see another day, but just does not vault the pallet. Trying to learn from Litos never vaulting, but doesn't quite work when the Oni has power, because he can just react to that and down you, and we get this nice hook that G-Bot has been wanting all game behind main, and it is a pain roost too. So great hook spot for G-Bot. We have no pallets on the top side of the map, and we have a hook in the 3-gen. We just need to venture out to hold these, but once that survivor's pulled, he can't really make it down to the bottom side of the map. And we do have hook stages on other survivors too. A very quick pull onto Behoofy. They do not want him stuck there. But he is still stuck there anyway. I think that was a sprint burst. And he does make it to this little pallet. G-Bot kind of just letting him go bottom. We're just kind of getting some blood here. And following, gonna drop again. G-Bot really playing for this gen spread. And I gotta say, I think it's definitely the right play. Because this gen spread, you don't want to let that go, especially if you can get power so often. Big swing from G-Bot. Litos managing to tuck away, but he's going to go down again. Not going to make it to the locker. And we're going to keep slugging. He's scared of that generator on the hill. We do not want this to pop. Not too much progress on it. Somebody has been on it recently, but not a lot. And we see Behoofy get healed at the bottom side. Gonna go check on this other generator he thinks could be done. And we do find somebody. We do find injured Villain here. And oh, that would have been a crazy flick. But unfortunately, Villain makes it to the pallet and gonna make it all the way to Shack. Not enough power, not enough blood for power just quite yet. But going to go find it off of Litos at this tile, I imagine. And we know. Oh, let's find Behoofy standing at this pallet. And we see somebody who ran edge. It is Litos, but we're going to ignore him. Go check on these topside generators. We haven't seen Ron. We can imagine he is on this hill generator. He does not want this gen to go. He can definitely play for a 4K2 here, but the generator pops right before he gets there. Looks like Ron was stealthing edge map when he checked earlier, but just didn't find him. Just going to pop power onto Behoofy. We do have hook stages on, I believe, every survivor except for Villain or Lita. You know, I don't know. Oh, really nice flick attempt from G-Bot, but not quite getting the 180 that he needed there. Just gonna keep chase on to Behoofy. Some interesting pathing. I think he went outside. G-Bot kind of losing Behoofy and just dropping chase. We see the reset on Litos, but really just missed where Behoofy was on that 4-lane. Gonna try to find him, bait him to run out somewhere. Wild swing, I don't even think he was there. Just kind of taking a guess almost, and just checking Shack. This is going to be power run out, and I don't think he has enough for another power, because they have got the resets. I think this is going to be all the blood he has, unless there is a fat pile of blood where Villain was working that generator earlier. It is possible. Do find Villain at this tile, but I don't think we want him. He's gonna check 5 to see if there's blood here. There's a little bit. Not enough. We're gonna need to get another hit or find another pool of blood if we want power. Or even wait for that passive cooldown. Actually, might... Oh, he has barely enough. There was some more blood. Yep, he has barely enough. Very nice. Gonna check on these topside generators once again. Kind of playing it slow around this 4-gen that is now a 3-gen. Not as tight as it used to be. Lots of progress on main generator. Survivor's playing this very methodical, very patient. Looks like they left this generator already. I believe exhaustions are all allowed, so you can definitely play around balanced landing very well with main generator, especially when it's so high progress. He's gonna need a fast down to interrupt these generators with eruption. Gonna have chase onto Litos, but again, we have another God Rock, and he did not see the scratch marks running away. Litos just held W to the bottom. He does not know. Okay, he finds him now, but Litos kind of being a little sneaky. Doesn't actually find him, just found the scratch marks. The trail of Lithos. Gonna check the locker, but he's not in there. We need to find somebody with this power, or this is looking like a 6-stage game for his best result if we don't find anybody. Okay, Main has been regressing this whole time, so not quite as dire as I expected. But we still do want to find somebody with this power. Lots of progress on this generator, too. Survivors are 3 splitting these generators. Oh, and we do find Ron sticking out at the tile, and he's just gonna go play this edge map. Z-wall might be a lithe play coming in, or just the only tile he can waste time in. I think he could have hit that. He could have hit that medium. Ron juicing up at the Z-wall, not getting hit. Might make it to main window. I think he does. Not gonna give a hit. We don't have a pallet, so eventually going to give a hit, but I mean, played that amazingly. Did not give that hit at edge map and makes it all the way down here. He can't really commit this chase, but he's going to. I think he's going to try to get this down fast and play for Painter's here. We have another Godrock pallet. Just going to break it and zone him up. We still have pallet here, and that's the gen pop. I don't remember if Ron has been hooked or not, because this is split stages. This is going to be a low stage game. Does he make that pallet? He does. He really needs to get this down on Ron. Winning the 50 again. Ron winning all his 50s. Gbot needs to get this down. This is looking dangerous. This is looking like 3 stages. He might just barely get power, but I don't know if he's going to get anybody in time. Okay, one of these survivors is dead. He's going to get one of these people. But Behoofy's in the back, and he's going to make it. He can't wild swing for this. Okay, just gets the M1 onto Ron. Trying to play for more, but this is risky if he gets close enough.
Cause the feeling is elated. I wonder why I do this to myself lately. I can't help but feeling jaded, so I end up getting wasted. Don't really wanna be with no one else. I spend my days dancing on my grave, but it's okay, there's nothing left to save. Cause my heart is made of stone and I have nowhere left to go. So I spend my days dancing on my grave. I don't know what you've been told, but I've been young and I've been bold, and I think that I'm getting lost again. Mind is still and heart of stone, but I've been digging up a hole, and I think that I'm getting buried in. I spend my days dancing on my grave, but it's okay, there's nothing left to save. Cause my heart is made of stone and I have nowhere left to go. So I spend my days dancing on my grave.
Cross my heart and hope to die. I can't fucking sleep at night. Blew up for the 1000th time. Guess I'm always lucky, right? Pop some shit, then fall behind. I jump the gun and take what's mine. Looking like you see.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Coal Tower. We are seeing Behoofy on the Oni. Gonna see what he can do. I think we have a pretty lax win con. 6 stages. Definitely very beatable on serves, but also very beatable on killer. Definitely a very snowbally killer, so you kind of want to deny the first hit for as long as possible. We see some worse RNG for Vicinal survivors than what Hysteric had, having to play the Orman tile, but very nice pathing from Gbot to get out of that situation and make it to a better pallet in the middle of the map. We do interrupt the generator, but that is totally fine in these Oni sets for the first hit, as long as you were telling people that you're on the way. So we're going to be playing around this pallet. We see Bloodlust kicking in. Gbot going to have to start check spotting this pallet to break chase. Nice play. Gets the double back from Behoofy, but this should be the first hit coming in. Bloodlust just too strong. Kind of feel like we had to keep playing those check spots to break that Bloodlust, but only so much you can do when you're stuck in the middle of the map. We're going to run over to this other God Rock. Hopefully it actually spawned, and it did. We're going to be playing around this, still keeping chase onto Gbot. Going to be taking some blood here. Not quite enough to get power, but it looks like we are going to get power before the first generator, unless they're doubling one of those bottom side gens. We should make this pallet. Bloodlust 2, swing and a whiff. We're going to get power off of this, I believe. And we're just going to leave, let Gbot bleed. This is a common strategy in these Oni sets. And we kind of zone Gree away from this pallet. We're going to pop power. This might be a fast down on Gree. He's kind of stuck right at this edge. Not a lot you can do. Tries to tuck in the corner, but unfortunately, kind of very, very hard place to juke an Oni with those 90-degree shoulder flicks. Very consistent hits. Kind of can only corner tech on the really big swings. We do see a generator pop before the first hook. That's good. And we do see the pain res on this mid generator. Looks like it was only about 50 when it got interrupted, so not the worst thing in the world. We do have a lot of blood around the map because Gbot is still bleeding. They did not heal him during the duration of that power usage, and we actually find where he was on main, and we get another power. This is looking like a really good spot for Behoofy. We're checking the edge map pallets here, seeing if somebody's stealthing for the pull. Not quite finding anybody. I think we're just sitting generators for this hook stage. You honestly can't super afford taking these hooks when the Oni has power. It's a very dangerous situation. If he sees you coming in, he can pop power and completely deny the trade with the insta-down. But they might feel like they need to unhook, but honestly, I think sitting gens is probably the play here. Kind of a fast down. We're just gonna keep checking. Only survivor we know where they are is G-Bot on that main building, just still bleeding. Kind of feels like an infinite power game already for Behoofy here, so definitely gonna be a struggle and a challenge for Vicinal survivors. Obviously still doable. Teams have gotten away from worse with less. We're going to be pressuring Shaq. Somebody could be rotating up to the pull now, but you don't necessarily want to pull the second somebody goes struggle. This is why killers are often very comfortable walking away from hook the second a survivor goes struggle. We see main gen pop. Still don't know where either Slasher or Bronzy are. We know somebody was on Shaq. Gonna go check this other topside generator, and that's where the other survivor was. So now we know where approximately every survivor is. Somebody could be coming in for the pull now, but I'm scared we're going to see Greed die on this hook. He is committing. This should be the time where we see the pull, and he knows G-Bot's going to make that pallet, so we're just going to pop power. We know somebody's got to be going in for the pull at this time, so we're popping power and going back. Looks like they're not going to get it in time. This is going to be Greed dead on his first hook. Very unfortunate. Didn't even have a chase, really, but we see 4 generators pop. This is 3 stages. This is still very doable. You can play this 3v1 versus Oni. He does have permanent power, though, off of G-Bot sitting on main, injured this whole game. They're going to have to play very well, but they do have a very favorable gen split. If they can play this slow, if they can play this properly. We have Chase on a G-Bot on the top side. We're going around, winning that mind game. Unfortunately, going to be the down on the pallet, and we are just going to pick. I don't think Behoofy has to worry about getting his power back anytime during this game. And we're just going to take it, I imagine, to a pain res. We're going to guess that they're probably doubling that bottom side generator. They kind of need it done now. But it looks like we're going to see a pain res coming through, and we do. Actually had a little bit of progress on this generator. I am kind of surprised, considering the chase was at main. We're just going to be walking around, and it's a head-on and a firecracker. We are blind. He is following Bronzy using these audio cues. And I think Bronzy does make it to this pallet. Behoofy knows. Gonna do some mind games at this jungle gym. Bronzy does make it back to this pallet. Gonna do some more mind games. This is a pretty safe tile. Not the tile you want to mind game. And we're just gonna drop Chase. I'm surprised Behoofy's not grabbing power off of main building yet. And we're just kind of wandering up top. We're gonna get the power. Nice circle of blood around the main building. We can't quite get in range of it, but finally gets it. And we're just going to be sitting on him for the second stage. That would be the 5th stage, which I believe would be tie condition. So G-Bot, in order for Vicinal to win this set, G-Bot needs to get off the hook and get out the gate. This is looking pretty grim for Vicinal. Obviously still doable, especially maybe G-Bot's an adrenaline survivor, but he's just going to leave that hook and go for his next survivor. He knows any hook is a win, and not quite enough time to pop this generator. It is very high progress, but we don't pop it. He just pop power without seeing anybody. This is possible if they manage to stealth it, but we do see the pull coming in on the distance, so we know where 2 survivors are. I think we're going to see that bottom side generator pop for this, but... Oh, actually, Behoofy baiting the chase on main and going back to this bottom side generator. I think this is a very good macro play. We do see the generator is not regressing anymore, so somebody did try to greed and get back on it right away. He was correct, but not quite being able to find them. Oh, that was Ada. I thought I was wrong and it was the locker. He did actually collide with Ada, and we do see the down and the double eruption proc. We do lose power. They are cranking away on that top generator, but it was 0 when we last saw it. there's definitely not going to be enough time, especially considering this should be another pain res. We're going to drag it up the map, and we see people running in the distance, running into main building. That is Bronzy. I imagine G-Bot was over there as well. And again, Behoofy just has power whenever he wants it off a main building. And yeah, we do find G-Bot, but he is balanced landing, so we're going to not commit him there. Just going to grab our power. And we see Bronzy crossing on the bottom side of the map, and we're just going to pop our power on him. This really is looking like Behoofy's game to lose here. Nice patience from Bronzy, not quite getting the flick as he needed. Very good patience on that pallet from Bronzy, and we're going to continue the chase, and we're actually going to go back to the hook. We know G-Bot rotated, and we're going to have to take a hit for him. Nice body blocking from Slasher. We don't have anything here to make, though. Oh, crazy flick. Kind of did a 180 and nobody was there. We're going to keep this chase onto Slasher. This is already the win for Vicinal, but we're obviously going to keep playing for our best score. If Vicinal can still get outs here, that would be great for their momentum, even in spite of the loss. We're going to lose power. Somehow Slasher and G-Bot get out of that situation. Very nice team play from Slasher to body block for G-Bot. And nice pathing from G-Bot to not get hit by the crazy flick. It just kind of disappeared, honestly, after we saw him running into the middle. I don't actually know where he went. But a great little ninja play. And we're just going to keep getting our power. They've definitely accepted just never healing a long, long time ago. And this generator has chunked down a lot. Only at about 40% now. And we're going to be following these survivors to Shack. I think everybody is down here. We're going to drop Shack pallet. Oh, we still had Shack pallet up this whole game. The whole game kind of took place on the top side of the map. We're going to pop our power onto G-Bot. This is a Deathhook survivor. This would force 2v1 if he gets the down here. But he does need to get it quick so they don't pop. Very nice medium vault from G-Bot, forcing Behoofy to end his dash. We're going to try to juke. We unfortunately don't get it. I think we saw somebody right here. No, just the eruption aura. I'm just seeing trees and thinking it's survivors. And we're going to have the eruption aura. We know exactly where he's going. Going to go for a nice flick, but flicks too hard and hits the wall. This generator would have popped another whiff onto Bronzy. Nice vault. We're going to run out power, actually. Very nice play from Bronzy to dodge these dashes. This generator almost popped too. We're going to put eruption down onto it, but we get the pick on a G-Bot on the bottom side. These survivors are still in this game. We hear that fourth kick onto that hill generator, and we're looking for Bronzy here, but we're going to drop this and go try to find Slasher and G-Bot down on the bottom side. They are our source of power, and they will be doubling this generator. Very nice play from Vicinal to split the lower progress generator and solo this top gen. Kind of forcing Behoofy to decide, do I want to go for this solo generator or play for the gen that I know is going to pop in 40 seconds? And we're going to go all the way to top side. We did see a crow leave. We know that Bronzy has not gotten far because we did see that crow fly up in the tile. So he is somewhere nearby. And we correctly guessed that he's in the locker. Unfortunate for Bronzy. I think he was the head-on survivor too, but just not able to get it. Might have not expected the insta-pull. And we see scratch marks on the bottom side, and he's going to be able to interrupt this. That was a pain res on that top generator. Not a lot of progress here. I think we sniffed out Slasher, but nice. Oh, this is looking like Slasher downed. Gonna have to do his best to juke, but Behoofy kind of reads the pathing. And this is gonna be the slug, and we just see G-Bot walking out. Not able to go for that flick. This is gonna be, maybe he gets the pull. Doesn't get the pull, actually. Not enough recovery time. G-Bot kind of forced to play. Wins the 50 of not vaulting back in. Still not able to get the pull, and tries to tuck in the corner, but not able to. And this is just gonna be a 4K1 for Behoofy. Very strong killer performance from Behoofy in this Oni set. Couple whiff dashes, but generally good macro play. And a nice fast down and tunnel onto Gree. Yeah. really good performance from Behoofy. So we're gonna be going into the pig set up next. Looking like 2-1 in Hysteric's favor. So Vicinal gonna have to win the pig set if they want a chance to stay in this. This is losers bracket. So looks pretty likely that we're gonna be going to the 5th set. Vicinal, pretty strong macro team. So I definitely expect good things out of their pig play. All right, well, we'll be back on the next set in a few minutes, guys. We'll see you for some pig.
Ghost moving like a poltergeist. Wait, what's his name? I'm like, huh, what'd he say, bitch? I don't want your 2 cents. You ain't even paid, bitch. We are not the same. I dropped out in 7th grade, bitch. Came up from the grave. Fuck everything you claim, bitch. You've never seen a trap or a bando. Only time you push straps when you wearing Velcro. Say you hit licks, bitch. Hell no. Talking like you gonna do shit, but you won't. I see through the shit that you do. Watch me.
you've been dragging your feet, telling me I'm the reason we're stagnant. 30 years you've been claiming you're honest and promising progress. Well, where's it at? I don't want you to feel like a failure. I know this hurts, but I gave you your chance to deliver. Now it's my turn. Don't get me wrong, nature had a great run, but it's time to give the people something different. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my album. Hope. What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart says. Standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is tucking their toe between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can. Being brave enough to dream big. Grinding when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you got nothing left. It's a person that'll take a chance.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in on Midwich Elementary School with Behoofy on the pig with no game audio. I am joined by the one and only Mario Gunner. Welcome,
Hello.
Mario.
Hello, Lily. Happy to be here with you.
Are you excited to see some pig Midwich?
I have not played nor seen any pig gameplay in a long time, so hoping for a very exciting match here.
Yeah, we do see a very interesting build from Behoofy too. Kind of unusual, not something you'd expect from Pig, at least most of these perks. We're seeing Brutal Strength and Forced Penance. Very interesting choices. I don't super think Brutal Strength is necessary on Midwich. A lot of these tiles are playable with Pig Power. Maybe showing a lack of confidence from Pig Chase, but also maybe just not wanting to deal with any of these pallets because you can just break them.
Yeah, very possible. And we have V playing the very strong side of the palette here. If Pig kind of goes around one other side, he can kind of force V into an interesting situation. However, if he played the way he did, V just has access to the window. So V will be escaping there. Could be playing some 50-50s now. Is unfortunately a whiff!
We win the 50 and whiff on Vamp. Gonna play the dash mind game. We're gonna get the hit finally. Unfortunate whiff from Behoofy. And we're gonna keep this chase going. At least he got the hit not too long after. I'll say that.
Yeah, Chase is going to be going into the corrupted side of the map, however, which is exactly where you want to be taking Chase. Gunpowder going to be dropped instantly here. Anything to prolong this chase as long as we possibly can.
Yeah, definitely the strategy that we usually see on these Midwich sets is just run to God Palette, get hit, run to the other God Palette, and Vamp playing these pallets very well. Unfortunately, he gives Behoofy... Oh, he gives Behoofy the pallet, but drops the firecracker, and we dash over top of it and get blinded even though we're looking up. Pig is very short when she is dashing, so we can't actually get away from that firecracker. And instead of being dead, Vamp makes it to another window. This is another strong tile.
Vamp is playing Midwich very, very well here, and understanding resources as well, because at that tile, Vamp could have easily gone down. However, understanding that, you know, with his flashbang, he can get away pretty easily, and he will be going down for it. However, very, very good first chase here. 2 gens, 3 gens.
3. Wow, yeah, and we saw someone actually here trying to get that flashlight save, but we just faced the corner. Vamp played that pallet really, really well. Kind of wasted a lot of time from Behoofy, just baiting that he was going to drop it and never dropping it. And actually had a very nice mind game idea from running away, but unfortunately Behoofy did see him running, so was able to change directions during his dash to get that down. And this is looking like a very strong performance from Vicinal. We see more scratch marks here, but not finding the survivor. And this is not a bad situation to be in at all for Vicinal. This is very good, and we're gonna see the vault, but gonna get an injure. Unfortunately, this is a dead zone room, and I think we're gonna be trading this hook.
Yeah, trade gonna be coming in. However, it will B. Oh, the broken set effect coming in here.
Yeah, that is forced penance.
Yeah, which means also, I want to point out, Vamp does have that active head trap going, so Vamp is basically going to also be not doing anything for the time being, leaving G-Bot and Slasher mainly to be the ones on generators, so a little bit of pressure coming in for Behoofy, but still, 2 gens remaining at this stage is rough.
Yeah, and we do see that Deadman switch coming in as well. Definitely a recoverable position for Behoofy. Looks like he's just going to be playing for his fresh hooks here. And a nice mind game, and just going to get G-Bot with the very end of that dash. Not quite enough distance on the tile, and just going to be committing chase here. He's kind of putting a lot of pressure onto Vicinal here, but going to drop the chase. Gree unhooked underneath him, but oh, we hear G-Bot. Looks like that was lucky break. Kind of found him by chance.
Yeah, we do see some lucky break value coming in for G-Bot. There could have maybe even escaped, but unfortunately Behoofy does find Chase going to be coming into G-Bot, knows that he can't really commit to Vamp anymore, and it looks like it will be a down on a pallet, so Behoofy has to be a bit careful here, but will just instantly pit. No, it's going to place a head trap first.
Yeah, you can kind of drag a survivor out of a pallet with Pig, but not able to drag him all the way. A lot of confidence that he was out of that, but we do see Slasher getting the pallet save onto G-Bot, and this is a pretty nice recovery, but we do find Vamp doing his box in the middle of the map. Not going to be able to get that hit. Nice distance from Vamp, knowing he can make that window instead of dropping the pallet. Now he has the pallet to play around, but we're going to instantly drop it and unfortunately go down again. This will be second stage for Vamp, still with an active head trap.
Now this is Behoofy's chance to really make a comeback here, because getting Vamp here is huge. If he can not only get the second stage, but get the tunnel out there after onto Vamp, it becomes a different situation for our survivors here, in that they will now have to play a 3v1 with potentially 1 gen remaining, because you have to assume another gen is about to pop just now.
Yeah, the only thing here is Deadman switch. If they get off this gen exactly this, then it's blocked for that full duration, I believe 40 seconds. And this was our one healthy survivor. Oh! We actually see another generator. They were working the generators with their head traps on. We see Champion of Light from Slasher, so we are going to make it back into this room. And I think we're going to make it to this other pallet. Yes, we're going to make it to this small pallet, and we're going to be playing the 50, but Behoofy just swings through like a maniac. Slasher gets the stun, but we're going to keep the chase going. That generator is still blocked, and we do see the pull onto Vamp, still with active head trap. This is 2 survivors with active head traps, and G-Bot is going to opt to just die for Vamp. And he's just going to take his hook. Behoofy said he's going to take every hook he wants.
This is going to be, I believe, another fresh hook.
I think this is the second. Oh, this was the pallet save, yes.
Yeah, this was the pallet save. So it's going to be another fresh hook. So not terrible with Behoofy, but it does mean that Vamp will be living to see another day. So 4 survivors still in this lobby. Gens will fly, and you have to assume this gen is being worked as that chase was happening. Hopefully Behoofy can get here in time, which looks like he will.
Yeah, it was being worked, but they are going to have to leave this generator because they are all injured, opting to slam generators instead of healing, which could be the right play, but could also get them in a very snowbally position here. We do see Gree getting his head trap off. Vamp still has his head trap off. I am kind of scared that Vamp might die to the head trap. I don't think... We don't have tampered timer, so it is just the full base kit duration, so he should be okay to not die to this, but getting interrupted on that box in mid is a little bit dangerous, and I am just very scared because it's still not off. Slasher with a nice chase here.
It is those head trap situations that Pig does shine here, but a good mind game coming in from Behoofy.
Yeah.
Those head traps is where
Vamp
Pig tends to
Vamp died to the head trap.
And I was just about to say, because you kind of force the survivor to be incapacitated entirely and not able to do a generator until they get that head trap off, and if they don't get that head trap off, they're screwed. They will just die.
Yeah, and Deadman switch active here now. 2 injured survivors. Vamp dead. At least he was death hook, but very unlucky. And we interrupt a generator here again. We see Deadman switch proccing on, I think, a different generator. Yeah, on the courtyard generator. They don't want that high progress generator blocked. We do see this as a common counterplay for Deadman switch when it is allowed, is you go tap a generator that has lower progress to make that one get blocked instead. And we do see the pull on Slasher in the distance. G-Bot playing this pretty unsafe pallet. We're gonna dash and not be able to win that 50. You know, Pig can kind of just react to whatever you do at these pallets now with her buffs.
They are resetting, which means that the generator isn't being done, but you have to assume that it's going to be a double reset just because, you know, Pig, while injured, can be very lethal with that stealth. Bihufi going to be going back to the generator. Double reset, so Bihufi knows he is safe to go get this generator. Not done yet. This is still... He is still set up for a 4K1 here if he plays this well.
Yeah, it looks like a call from Vicinal to kind of slow down the game, as trying to rush these generators injured hasn't been working. Definitely still possible to pop a generator in this 3v1. Bihufi not ever walking around in stealth, so they kind of always know where he is. So they can definitely play around this and get something done. Slasher doesn't have to worry about his head trap till the end game if they want to just slam gens. And it's possible Slasher is already over on that generator. And we are just playing these pallets, wasting time. We do see Slasher getting the pull. And I think we're going to leave. He's going to be scared. Oh no, we're actually staying on this chase. Thought we were going to leave and go check that generator. It is still very high progress. Only with base kit regression. And Gree playing this window very well. Should have been a hit, but made it back to the window with some nice LOS blocks. And we do eventually get the hit on this unsafe pallet. And I think we're just gonna run to the God pallet. I believe we still have it here. We do.
Now, Bihufi has to be very, very careful here because this chase has been going on for quite some time, and you have to assume maybe they've even been doubling the generators to just get it done, and because of how long this chase has been going on, I think we're going to be seeing it pop in another 10 seconds there.
Yeah, I think that generator is going to pop. Him overcommitting this still hasn't left. This pretty much seals the deal for me. I believe that gen is going to pop any second, and it does, and I think he might just be committing greed because I think this is his fresh hook survivor, so just wants to get the maximum stages. Gave up on the 4K1. Just gonna play for what maximum he can get. Slasher does have to take his head trap off now, so he does still have a little bit of time to buy. Oh, good fake from Gree. Big whiff from Bihufi, and we're gonna see if how long Gree can live here. Another good bait, winning on this unsafe pallet. Doesn't make that vault, unfortunately, but very well played chase from Gree.
Now, if Gree is fresh hook here, you know, it's not a 4K, but this is still a decent result for our pig here, so Vicinal will still have it all to play for here, even if it's, you know, not the 4K that they were hoping, or that they were, like, playing against.
Depending on which gate is open, we could see them play for a unhook here, but I don't think we're going to see that happen. Slasher did get his hat off before this hook stage came in, so if they want to make this a lower stage game, if they want to keep this at 8, they can play for this unhook. 9 stages is kind of a big ask from a pig player. You know, 8 is a great result. We kind of see expected usually hover around 6 stages. Obviously she can 4K, but very expected lower stages versus pig. And we do see someone working on this gate. I imagine Slasher is ready to get the pull already, but G-Bot's gonna have to make it out to the other gate, and he whiffs! If we see the pull coming from Slasher here, this could be very good, and we do. Both of these survivors gonna have to make it out, and a nice body block, but he actually hits Slasher.
Now, do keep in mind, oh no!
That is a terrible whiff.
Do keep in mind that the other gate has not been open, so they don't have an easy exit, so even if they do take hits here, one might still die, but because of that whiff... Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Run back in. They're just gonna wrap around again.
Not open. Yeah, they're gonna have to be.
They split up.
What they split. I don't know about that because now it looks like Slasher might just die for it.
Maybe they're accepting that he won't be able to live. No, maybe a miscommunication issue there. Slasher does split off from the group. They might have had a chance to make it back out, but we are going to see 9 stages from Bihufi. That is a 2K9. Very strong killer result. Oh,
10,
no, that is 10. That is
10.
Oh my gosh, that was not... Vamp was on the hook originally. That is an extra stage that they gave. Wow, big miscommunication, I think, from Vicinal to give that extra stage. Slasher splitting off from the group. Very strong killer result from Bihufi. Vicinal gonna have to get a lot of stages, practically a 4K, in order to win this set. If they lose, they're out. Welcome back, everybody, to Pig Midwich. We're seeing Vamp killing 4 Team Vicinal versus Hysteric Survivors. We have a steep win con. Vamp effectively having 2 4K with a win con of 11 stages. Mario, what do you expect out of this?
Well, honestly, it could go either way here. If Vamp doesn't essentially get a tunnel out before the first gen pops, it's going to be very, very increasingly difficult for him, but not impossible. He needs to keep on top of his head traps, and he needs to make sure that he is pressuring them off of gens as much as he possibly can with, the power that is Pig. However, first chase is going to be coming in onto Ron. Door immediately going to be picked, and we're not going to be seeing a tag for quite a while, it looks like.
I don't know if you saw that, but Ron actually baited that there was a head-on. He hesitated his step for a second, and it made Vamp double back for just a moment, and it actually made it so Ron could cleanly make it to that window, but not going to play these God Pallets and making it over instead to this further God Pallet, not the one he spawned by.
Yeah, and this chase is going to be even prolonged even further now thanks to that drop. If Ron could even make the Med Bay God palette as well, that would actually be very huge for him because that would just mean that this chase lasts exponentially long. However, it's going to be going into this room over at 1 here, and this chase looks like it's going to be over right now.
Yeah, it looks like a solid 2-tap almost on to Ron, getting the nice swing for momentum and getting the M1 before he could even make it to the pallet. We do see 1 generator pop. Hopefully for Vamp, this is a pain res hook. It is not. This is the folly of Midwich. We often do not get very good pain reses because the hooks are split top and bottom of the map. We do see Deadman Switch coming on in this generator. Honestly, maybe would have liked to not have Deadman Switch because it's not going to regress from that ruin anymore. And goes for a greedy swing onto Behoovy. Not going to get it, though. We do just drop it and get the stun. And we're just going to follow him, running near to the hook. And we do see the unhook happen. Ron with an inactive trap. And I imagine we're just going to go back and find him instead.
Yeah, getting Ron out of the game as quickly as we possibly can here is going to be extremely important for Vamp to be able to meet this tight win con.
Yeah.
Doesn't unfortunately find Ron. It looks like it might even be Lucky Break on Ron.
Yeah, finding meds instead. I don't believe it was Lucky Break. I think we did see Lucky Break earlier. I honestly think I heard Ron going for another swing through a pallet, but Med's just gonna get a stun and run away. We've lost our tunnel already. That early pull should have been good for Vamp, but he wasn't able to find Claudette. We're gonna go look for her. We see another generator pop. That was that mid-gen that we did know about.
This might be your best opportunity to actually find Ron, just because Ron is out of commission and not doing any generators, which means if you can throw head traps, however, 2 gens do pop for him.
Oh, this is Ron. We find him.
Oh, we do find Ron here, which is actually good here. So if we can get Ron out of the game as quickly as possible, again, huge. However, 2 gens left. Even then, it's looking even tougher for Vamp.
Oh, he lands on top of the pallet! Oh my gosh, parkour! Vamp lands on top of the pallet, swinging through the hole. Oh my gosh, the pre-drop not working out for Ron. Did not expect him to land on top of the pallet. Going for a hit onto Litos, but we are just eating every single pallet stun. Oh my gosh.
I didn't even know you could do that, or you could get the momentum to be able to do that.
Probably shouldn't be able to, but I mean, with how you land normally dropping down, it makes sense. That was crazy momentum from Vamp. And we're gonna go take this other hook. This is still doable, as long as he can make this hook. Hopefully this one is a pain res. I think that's gotta be why we're taking it all the way over here. And he does make the hook. It is pain res. We know this is the most progressed gen. This is good info for us. And it is Behoofy, the injured survivor, that we're following. He does have a God Pallet over there, though, so we're gonna drop chase. And Ron still has an active trap. This is still very doable for Vamp.
Now, knowing that that generator was the most active gen is also huge because I don't believe it had that much progress on it, which is great as well. Oh, no!
Oh, baiting Behoofy! Getting a nice down. Just gonna put a trap on. Might take a pain res if we have one close by. One of the generators is blocked, though, so if it is pain res, it's gonna go onto this generator right here. We're taking him back. Ron does have an active trap, so we should be able to pretty reliably find him just by patrolling our boxes. And it is a pain res. onto this generator though, because the other one is blocked. That generator is effectively at 0.
If there was ever an opportunity for Vamp to do this, it would be right now. He needs to find Ron. He needs to get that down right now, and he needs to get the kill right now. Because while the generators are so regressed and not really active, right? Because that means you're pretty much free reign of the entire map at that point. But it's going to be finding meds here.
And we're going to be leaving that chase. He doesn't really want this. We're looking for Ron, I'm sure. We want to find him before he can get that head trap off. In the last match, we did see Vamp actually himself dying to a head trap. We're going to be looking to get the hit onto Nancy. Actually almost got it, but didn't take the swing. Behoofy's going to have to mend. And we're going to just play for a hit onto Litos, and we get it! Crazy swing, and trying to predict that Litos would just run up the hole, but not quite getting that read. Litos holding the corner well. And we're going to break it and keep our chase going here, I imagine. He can let one of these gens pop. He knows what everybody is doing. Ron is getting his head trap off. Behoofy just mended, and we have chase on Litos, so we know Meds is the only one on a gen, and we just saw him recently. We get a nice down on Litos, and we're going to take our pain res and another head trap. This is a good momentum switch for Vamp here. He can definitely still make this work for him.
This is his moment, absolutely. Getting this pain res as well is going to not necessarily seal the deal for Hysteria, however, or Hysteric, sorry, but it is going to. Oh, and the scream coming through.
We get the DMS.
Deadman switch is going to proc instantly as well, so no gens are active. You have to assume here now.
Yeah, Ron did get his head trap off, and we do see the heal. I imagine he's healing with Boofy, and we're gonna go look for them. If he ever finds Ron, he is Death Hook. This is a dangerous place to be in. They'll have Ruin up, by the way. This is not a bad spot. The only thing is, they could use Ron as a bait if he can have a good chase. They can bait him to commit to Ron, overcommit, and gets a nice sneaky tag onto Meds. This is something we didn't see Behoofy doing. Walking around in stealth, and looks like Team Hysteric might be used to Pigs not walking around in stealth, because not playing super safe, not holding anything, not that, you know, you can't give a free hit at when he's in stealth, so we just gave that free tag.
Seeing Behoofy there is also a lot of free information here for Vamp, because he knows, well, Behoofy was basically doing nothing there, which means Litos just got unhooked by Ron as well, right? So that means there's no one on gens right now as well. Their gem pressure has pretty much halted. Vamp has completely halted it.
Yeah, and this generator that we're right beside, we know is regressing. Yeah, lots of momentum for Vamp. We also see that Litos got healed, so we still know no gen progress. Med's playing this palette very well, winning every 50. Finally loses a 50. This is our last pain res survivor. We still have 2 head traps. Bringing add-on for extra head traps in this game, actually paying off very well. Playing kind of the slow game.
Now, another gen popping would mean that there are 3 active head traps, putting 3 survivors out of commission and one being the only person on the generator. So that might be your opportune time to find him.
Yeah, we see that instant DMS again too. Honestly, not sure why that generator is highlighted in yellow. Might be spectator bug, or I don't know if that's a new part of DMS that I'm not aware of. And gets a free tag onto Litos again. These stealth plays working out so well for Vamp. With the Sloppy Butcher, these heals take extra long, and this is our lucky break survivor. And we're gonna keep this chase going, but there's no pallets here. Litos is going to just die eventually at this window. Let's see how long he can play it for, but we have Bloodlust juicing up. We see Ruin cleansed finally, but this is gonna be our second stage on Litos.
Ruin being cleansed here, honestly, it's honestly not the greatest even time for survivors as well, because at this point, Vamp has gotten a lot of value out of that Ruin. And that hook coming in as well means that, you know, the survivors can really only do one thing, which is try to pressure any sort of gen at all. But even with the advent of Deadman Switch and Ruin coming in, someone has to go for this unhook, which means only one other person or 2 other people can be working gens here, and that gen up there was the one being progressed. So again, gen pressure has halted.
Yeah, and we have a great opportunity to tunnel Litos here. Ron, another Death Hook survivor. This pellet is gone. We're just gonna play for Litos here, but they're gonna take a body block and gets a hit onto Ron. He can choose either of these survivors. Might swap to Ron. Stream dying. Was my internet getting cut out a little bit?
Yeah, no, Sam. I think we're having a couple of technical issues here, so just bear with us for a
Technical
second.
issues. I think I heard Claudette go down here. Unfortunately, our Discord stream did cut out for a moment here. Discord is dying. We might be back, team. I think I heard Ron dying. I think this. Okay, okay, and we're back. We do see
And
Ron
Ron-
dying, and we saw a gen pop. We have 2 active traps now on Litos and Meds, and we're chasing the only survivor without an active trap.
Yep, gen pressure again gone. You know, that gen popping might actually be the thing that seals Vicinal's deal here. Or, is it Hysteric playing serve? No, it's Hysteric playing serve.
Yes, it's
right?
Hysteric on serve. Yes,
Right.
this is Vamp Vicinal Scalar. Nice
Yeah,
hit
so-
onto Beoufy.
Very beautiful here. Vamp can safely chase this. He has no reason to not commit here, I don't think.
Yeah, you know, you can. The risky play from Hysteric would be to work those gens with your active traps, but that gives you a great risk. Wins to 50, but misses just barely. But this is going to be Beoufy dying. He's not going to be able to make it back around. And this is a pretty safe spot. We're going to take another hook, and we still have 1 more trap left. They need to get their hats off and pop the last gen. And everybody except 1 person is on death hook now.
I really
This
want to
is
point out how
dangerous.
well Vamp played these head traps here. It completely... Don't sleep on Pig's ability to completely pressure generators without actually having to be there, just because of the threat those head traps pose. They can't do anything right now but try to search for active head traps. And with a hooked way to get off their head traps, and with a hooked survivor, they now have to unhook that person.
Ooh,
This is looking rough for Hysteric.
we can hear someone above us searching head trap. He's waiting like a shark for them to drop down. Gonna check if they're walking over. We did see Meds get his trap off, but we heard Litos searching just above him. And we're just gonna camp this out. We saw there was no gen progress. He can honestly...
He
You
doesn't
see
have to leave.
Meds staring
can
him down at the end of the hallway. He does
He
not
can
have
just
to leave
pitch a
this.
tent, start a campfire, roast
Yep.
some s'mores. He's fine. He doesn't have to leave this.
Yep, there's no gen progress at all. This is looking like a set win. Vicinal, they brought it back. Vamp playing his macro very well. Very slow, methodical gameplay to hold these generators. Kept 2 gens up for a very long time. You know, that extra head trap add-on working extremely well. Gotta say that was the perfect choice for Vamp. He got so much value out of that. And mind gaming Litos at this tile. This is gonna be the 4K one for Vamp if he can just find Meds here.
Litos
This is all but
purposefully
decided.
not putting, or Vamp purposefully not putting Litos on a hook here, because I believe it is Litos that is the death hook survivor.
Yes.
So putting Litos on a hook here would give Meds the chance to maybe find Hatch, which is not something Vamp wants to do. That would be the tie condition, which means we will be going into Singu. So Vamp doesn't want to do that, wants to find Meds here.
Yeah, I believe this is a points-based tournament. So it would... Also, Vicinal did get survivors out the gate. So it would still be a win for Vamp, I believe. But you definitely don't want to leave anything to chance. Don't super know how the scoring would turn out if Meds did manage to get out with 2 hooks remaining. But definitely not something you want to risk, especially on a map like Midwich where Hatch is just RNG. So we're going to be in this boring old game where we walk around the map and try to find Meds stealthing. Unfortunately, a healthy survivor and also notorious quiet character Ace. Going to be very difficult to find this survivor on this map. Swings at Litos.
We'll
Looks
just
like
be
Vamp
taking
has
Litos
board.
there.
Just
I
takes
think
the
he's
hook.
realized that he probably wins regardless if he just hooks Litos, so it's fine if Meds gets
Yeah, I
here,
think
but
so. Maybe he got someone to do the math in Discord real quick on the scoring
Yeah.
system. And I think we found Meds.
Did we get crows?
I think we found Meds.
silence. It's easier for me to paint a smile, tell everybody that I'm doing fine now, but they can't tell I'm alive. My reflection, someone else, and I don't know their name. Oh, what a disgrace, I'm losing my faith. Is anyone out there listening? 'Cause I don't wanna face this mess that I made. My mind is a dangerous place to live. I'm dying to breathe with my secrets I keep. So I'll take the bait 6 feet to the grave with the skin of a saint. Don't let me be deceiving, still can't fight off this feeling. Can't believe I believed that I would be better by now. Feels like forever that I'm not in control of me. Falling from heaven, it's a long way down. My reflection, someone else, and I don't.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here on the Wreckage Yard for the 5th and final set of Hysteric versus Vicinal, tied 2-2. We're seeing Boofy on the Singularity, putting down some pods, spreading his web. We do see some interesting add-ons. We see Oxygen Tank, a very standard add-on when Soma Family Photo is not allowed. And we also see Foreign Plant Fibers. We're gonna see Boofy playing for some pallet TPs a lot. Very, pretty normal thing to do on records is to just plow through pallets. So might be a very good add-on play. We see the first hit already, Mario.
Yeah, I mean, again, first tags are not exactly uncommon on Singularity just because of how, well he's able to actually just apply pressure in chase and quickly catch up to survivors. Singularity is an interesting set for me. A lot of people find the killer very boring. I don't know, I think his set actually has the potential to be very interesting, and 50-50 gonna be lost from Gree Zero.
Yeah,
Wow.
Gree unfortunately running to a dead zone. This corner on Wreckers, you can either get the crane, which is a very strong tile, or you can get this bus, which is very, very weak. And unfortunately, they do get this bus, and we're seeing Greed just down there. We did see the EMP earlier too, but didn't really get it much, and we actually get out of our pod before we goop that Ada, but we do finally get it again. This is going to be a rough spot to get Gree out of. He is hooked in a pretty solid gen split for Boofy, but we are going to have to keep it, kind of locked down. Venturing out to get some more infections on people, not quite getting that infection onto G-Bot, and just kind of hovering around.
Singularity is also one of those sets where it's like getting your tunnel out as well can actually be quite simple. If you have good camera placements, good angles to actually be able to teleport, then a down straight off after unhook is not something that is uncommon on Singularity. So we might be seeing that's exactly what Boofy will want to be doing here, especially considering it looks like we're going to be camping to second stage.
Yeah, definitely a killer. One of just a few killers who can somewhat consistently get that hit right after the 10 seconds of TT. And we get the second stage, and then we are taking the TP onto Ada. We see the sprint burst, so not going to drop this pallet just yet. We're going to use that last second of overclock to kick the generator. And we're just going to be looking for more survivors, leaving this Ada, but actually going to TP again. Imagine we're going to get this pallet out of the way. And this is looking very good for Boofy. Still no generators done. Gree on this second stage in the corner. This is a very fast-paced game for Gree so far. Just, or for Boofy, sorry. And we're going to TP again onto the Ada. This is going to be the tag.
Slasher needed to drop that pallet there, even if he was in overclock, just because you would have gotten it off. But, it would have been a fast break, but you would have been able to make this little tile here as well and prevented a tag potentially, which is not something you want in a situation like this.
Yeah, now we're going to force... We get another TP.
No.
This does mean Gree is going to be able to be pulled safely from this unhook. We force the pull onto Slasher. I'm going to hope that we're going to be able to see some sort of reset onto Gree. We see the flashbang attempt from Vamp, not quite getting it. We did see it. just a second too late. And we're going to keep this chase on Agree. We know he's in this corner. This is a very, very bad spot for Vicinal survivors. We need to keep Gree alive here. It is almost impossible to pop more gens in the 3v1 against Singularity.
Yeah, Boofy is in a very, very amazing spot here and knows exactly where Gree is. I don't think we're going to be seeing Gree live much longer here at this point, and when that happens, Vicinal's going to find themselves in a situation where they're going to have 3 gens remaining against Singularity. Another gen popping after that, maybe, but 2 more? I don't think so.
Yeah, this is looking really rough. I mean, Gree doing a very good job of staying alive here. Not infected anymore. Gonna have to avoid that for as long as possible. We see another person supporting, and we're gonna get the EMP off again. Not gonna be able to teleport, and Boofy just gonna be looking around for another angle. Gets the infection onto G-Bot, not on Agree, but is able to get the teleport because he is nearby. We get a hit onto G-Bot, and we're gonna keep this chase on Agree. Agree doing a good job lasting, breaking LOS of these cameras. That one is still EMP'd.
Yeah, and it's very important that, oh no, Gree does get tied in, but it's very important that you prevent that infection coming through as long as you possibly can, because when you're infected against Singularity, you put yourself, he becomes 10 times more lethal with his teleports and his ability to have good pallet control. Another teleport going to be coming through here. I think this is going to be the death.
Yes.
But Vamp does take a tag.
So yeah, Lar here for a body block. Gree gonna make it to another tile. He's gonna make that window vault, but it's gonna be a fast vault. Then we have a pallet. He's gonna take the TP and go towards this other deep 3 area. We're gonna make this pallet as well. Boofy running around it, but so is Gree. Wins the 50-50. We're gonna drop this pallet and just force the break. Gree doing a good job lasting on this final chase. Gonna make it to this other pallet too. Boofy kind of over teleporting. If he has this edge map pallet, he can live for a long time again still. But unfortunately it did not spawn. I think we're gonna finally see the death on Agree unless we have another survivor here. We hear an EMP going off, and Vamp is back again for another body block.
Wow.
Wow.
Vicinal has turned this around.
Yeah, doing an amazing job keeping Gree alive. And we pop another generator, and he's gonna try to force locker, but he is gonna die to that rapid brutality. And that's gonna be Gree dead. We have 3 injured survivors, but 4K1 is gonna be our worst result here. Very tieable, very beatable result if this is the last generator that pops.
Yeah,
very good comeback.
Now this is where Singularity will shine a little bit more. Will shine a little bit more, just because, you know, yes, that chase lasted so long, but the resources on the map have dwindled because of it. So chases from at this point are not going to be lasting very long. So if they're going to pop another generator, it needs to be pretty soon, or they need to divide and conquer. I think what we might be seeing Vicinal do here, unless another gen is about to pop right now, is a bit of a slowdown, a bit of a reset to kind of play the mid game.
We do find the reset, but we do teleport onto the healthy survivor who is going to be quickly injured. Does not bite the window fake. I would have swung for that.
I totally would have as well.
And we're going to have this chase on the slasher. There is still a pallet here. It does miss the teleport. We're going to play the 50 on the window, but slasher winning that 50-50 and playing this tile really well, breaking LOS. We do find Vamp here. G-Bot still injured. Could be working that deep generator. We just have 3 pain resists available and interruptions, so this is going to be a hard spot to pop any generators. Vamp with a nice vault, baiting the TP onto the outside. And we have another pallet here still. And we're going to jump into this tile, get the TP, but on the other side of the window, that chain ball just not quite catching up to Vamp yet, because he did not move after vaulting that window. And we're going to drop chase and look for, I think this is Slasher here. No, this is healthy G-Bot. And we passed the infection on from Vamp to G-Bot, unfortunately.
Now, Boofy doesn't really have any pressure going on over at 3 side as well. No cams to speak of, no ability to understand what's happening, and we haven't seen Slasher for some time here, so I think that's where we're going to be finding him.
Yeah, I think this is possibly looking like a bait, but actually we're running there, so it might not be. I don't think we would run here if Slasher was working this generator, but those two working in tandem did very much seem like they were trying to bait. And we see, yeah, no gen progress on this. I really thought he would be here too.
Yeah, I would have assumed they would have wanted to be here, considering there's no cam here, but a generator ready to be done. This is like easily doable for the survivors if they're here, but
Yeah,
clearly
I
not.
think that was their chance for sure, is if Slasher had been on that generator. But unfortunately, no gen progress to speak of for that entire chase sequence with G-Bot and Vamp.
Now, Behoofy is in a very good spot here just because 3 injures, 1 hooked, 1 has to go for the unhook. Again, injured against Singularity is very, very dangerous just because of how lethal he can be in mid-game because of the lack of resources that the survivors will have. But we are seeing a reset here happen.
Yeah, looks like Lucia will make it coming in and getting the reset. Honestly, that reset did more for just getting them out of this area than it did for resetting, but that's exactly what they needed because they were kind of stuck here if that body block didn't come through. Breaking LOS to deny that teleport. He does get it, but Slasher makes it to this pallet. We bait and we swing through, but Slasher runs paths very well. We don't see the down, and we see G-Bot working on that generator on the bottom side, and we see the instant drop from Slasher, but Boofy winning the mind game this time.
And we knew that we could safely commit to that chase as well, just because we knew how low progress that other generator was. Meaning if this chase didn't last any more than 30 seconds, that generator's not going to pop anytime soon, and
Exactly.
especially considering we knew that Vamp was around too.
Yeah, and we do actually see the pain res coming in. That hook originally was not actually pain res on Slasher. This is going to be a tough spot for these survivors to pop another generator with Slasher on death hook and just really no gen progress.
Yeah, and this is why tunneling out on Singularity is so crucial, just because getting another generator on
That
Singularity...
angle!
Oh my god. That was
Wow.
dirty.
Yeah, you'll find often in these 3v1 situations that survivors just really can't pop another generator versus Singu. Just such a strong 3v1 character.
Gonna be trying maybe to follow up onto Vamp here after getting that absolutely nasty hit with his pod here, but isn't gonna... Oh, it is gonna find him!
Oh, this is looking dangerous. Just barely avoiding the teleport there.
G-Bot is in a rough situation as well.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be Slasher dead. They really can't pull this. They're both injured. There's no gen progress.
Unless Slasher has been somehow ninjaing his way into completing another generator, which how?
Yeah, his camera's on that generator.
This is looking like a 4K1.
This Boofy would have to mess up bad for this to not be a 4K1. This might be a very long Singularity set for us, Mario. 4K1 is a very common result from Singularities. If we did see the tie 4K1, we would... I believe we would replay. I don't know if it goes to overall sets, but...
I mean, depending on if you can get that tunnel out as well. Yeah, again, if you can't get that tunnel out, you're more looking into the realms of 2K6, 2K8 on Singularity. But with the way Boofy played and able to get that tunnel out, 4K1 is the result that we would be seeing most likely.
Yeah, and almost seeing a very tragic worse result from Vicinal, but they did a great job on recovering from that early down onto Gree. Kept him alive for a very long time to just pop 2 more generators. Really all you could ask for from them there. And yeah, because we had Gree on death hook at 3 generators. Oh, we find someone's trail.
This is G-Bot.
Yep. Some nice pathing there. He does have an EMP in hand. Gonna hope he can get that off. Yes. But he's just gonna replace this and infect him again. Just wasting precious seconds, but we're just gonna TP to get that pallet break. There's just not much over here.
But you have to assume Vamp is on 3, but
Wait, he disappeared!
Wait, no, this is huge, because if Vamp has been on 3 this entire time...
Yeah.
This
is his last pain res, but...
Yeah.
Huge time waste from G-Bot. Really good pathing. We get the TP. Honestly, I don't think I would have liked to see the TP there. If G-Bot had taken that vault, I think Boofy would have missed him, but we do...
We see Vamp!
Alright, I guess they've accepted it's 4K1.
I totally would have thought Vamp would have been cranking 3 there. Well, that choice... I guess not.
Yeah, I guess maybe accepted. More or less the fact that this is 4K1. If you can't pop a gen in the 3v1, what are the chances in the 2v1, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Vamp just kind of staring there, and then disappeared like a magician. We don't know where he went. We're just gonna sit here. Maybe it was a bait. Maybe he teleported all the way to 3 and is working it now. Alright, he's just right here. Can we find Vamp? Be the
And this
last
will be
chase
a
of the
freaking
game.
one. Yeah.
A very strong result. Oh, crazy swing. Crazy swing from Boofy. Are we gonna win the 50? We are. Crazy swing. Finally gets the down on a Vamp, and this is gonna be a 4K1. So this means that if Vicinal wants to take the win, their killer is gonna have to 4K2.
Yeah, in Reckless Yard, 4K1 is a very strong result for Singularity. So.
Yeah, Vicinal does have a good good Singularity player, but we'll see if 4K2 is too tough of an ask.
Now, if tie does happen here, Lily, what happens?
You know, I'm not too familiar with the rules. I actually don't know if it's a replay or if it goes to overall points. I think it would go to overall points, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll definitely find out by the time we get back for the second half. Alright, we'll be right back in a minute for the other side of the set and for the answer on what happens if this is a tie.
I'm losing my faith. Is anyone out there listening? In this gothic underground city, we all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win. I came back and brought the crown with me. The kings can't break your nexus and your neck, cause everybody's on your head.
Just like kick your butt, go run them up, then paint my nails. Never learned to raise my hand, was too busy raising hell. Everything I know I am, you should go and save yourself. Thought you had my number, huh? Congratulations, played yourself.
Underground utopia, dynasties and dystopia. Fear is never an option, so time is not a real phobia. I'm beating the odds, rising to every occasion that's ever defeated the gods. Switch up the mind, nothing but champions coming. I'm rolling on one of those squad. Hold still, boy, like Baghdad. Talk back till I snap back. This ain't brown, this that dark black. This that pitch black, jet black. Snap your ex, watch me give them flashbacks.
Pressure's rising fast as lightning, they can't stop it now. If you ain't talking realness, then just change the topic now. They laughing at the top like they can't see the bottom. And they thought I needed help, but I got hit without them. I am sharper than a pack of 100 razor blades. When the smoke clears out of here, but they name gon' fade. I'ma be here doing it my way. They said I should change it up, but what did I say?
Ooh, yeah, he mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you a sweater, sun shining. Ooh, yeah, he mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you a sweater, sun shining.
Hold still, boy, like Baghdad. Talk back till I snap back. This ain't brown, this that dark black. This that pitch black, jet black. Snap your ex, watch me give them flashbacks. I get that magic all on me, I feel like I'm Tracy McGrady. Enemy circle around me 360, I count them 180. I've been equipped with the spirit beside me since I was a baby. Just getting chaotic, I made me a product for causing the chaos. Right, you want it right? This gothic underground city, we all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win. I came back and brought the crown with me. The kings can't break your nexus and your neck, cause everybody's on your head.
Ooh, yeah, he mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you a sweater, sun shining. Ooh, yeah, he mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you a sweater, sun shining.
this way before. You'll never show anyone flaws or let your anger take the floor. But everyone's breathing gas. You're playing around with a map. You're starting a chain attack. No running away. You're ready to raise the flag. Snap.
1, 2.
Then all of a sudden you're calm.
They call me an American horror. What I gotta do to find a sober down to choke me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the probable final match here. Gree with a 4K2 win con for Team Vicinal. If he does get a 4K1, it would be a replayed set. So we are going to hope to see this 4K2 so that these teams don't have to replay Singularity again. What do we think is going to happen in this match, Mario? What does Gree need to get here to get this 4K2?
Well, it's hard to say. 4K2 is actually not an easy win con for Singularity. I mean, there's a reason why 4K1, between 2K6 and 8 to 4K1 is the most common result. It would mean that Gree would have to get a very early tunnel out and tag, which he does, onto Ron. And we might be seeing the 2-tap here.
Yeah, we might be able to. We do see the 2-tap! Oh my gosh,
We are
Ron
seeing
got
a
baited.
2-tap.
And it's basement if he wants it, but he doesn't. He takes the pain res. This is exactly what Green needed. Explosive start. Gets really nice mind games on these pallets. Ron getting mind gamed at that long rock, and then again baited into trying to kind of jiggy that pallet, but not working as Gree was just mind gaming it and catches him out. Really good start for Gree.
We're seeing pretty much exactly what I said we would be seeing here. Not going to be teleporting to any of those survivors. Just taking his, tags with his pod, making sure he's getting everyone infected, pressuring as much as possible, but making sure he doesn't lose his tunnel here, because I think he's going to be wanting to camp Ron to second here.
Yeah, we want this person dead as soon as possible. This 4K2 is very doable with a start like this. I imagine we'll see the survivors 3-splitting to let this survivor go second. This is great for Gree, and we did actually gets the teleport, and this is Sprint Burst Survivor. Unfortunate. Oh, no pallet spawned here.
Oh no.
We swung for it thinking there was a pallet, but we're just gonna take it all the way to the edge map to get that swing, and we're gonna get a TP. This is not a good tile, and he wins that mind game. It's gonna be Beaufy going down as well. Ron got unhooked in the distance, but we're just gonna take the. I think we're taking this for the pain res, and we're gonna find Ron later, right?
Yeah, that's smarter.
But
yeah, we're gonna be taking the pain res here.
Yeah, and you know, on that first down on Ron originally, oh, looks like we saw Will Make coming in, resetting Ron.
Oh, but
And we
do see
found
the
him on the pod. If he has a nice angle to TP. No. We did see an EMP on Ron on the floor during his first chase, so if he didn't actually get that mind game, then we would have seen a much longer chase.
I mean, still having the information and knowing where Ron is absolutely huge here. Just being able to actually, understand where your tunnel out is and exactly what path you have to go to actually get to him. Also, just understanding, it's what Singularity excels at, right? Being able to understand where everyone on the map is and knowing what decision to make at the best time. But I've heard someone say basically, like, if you want to play Singu correctly, you basically have to be the Singularity. You have to be a
Yeah.
well-oiled machine, make decisions very quickly, and understand what to do with the information that you have.
Yeah, definitely very true. Survivor's doing a good job of breaking LOS here. And we're going to put Eruption down onto this generator. And one thing about Boofy's hook there in the corner is we did interrupt a high progress generator for it. And we actually opt to not take that TP onto Villain, but they do get the EMP. And this looks like a little bit of a bait. Boofy actually goes struggle for free. Green not there. Looks like we're going to be swapping the tunnel onto Boofy just with this free hook stage onto Ron. And we get a nice... Yeah.
They're not able to get this generator.
Free just making this very troublesome for Lux here to work on this generator. We're going to see the TP. I imagine we'll see the vault, but he actually ends up TPing on the wrong side. And we're going to see the fast vault, but looks like Lux was looking out for it. This should be an M1 here. Yes, this is going to be a tag. And we see the pull in the distance, but this is the thing about these hooks in those deep pockets is you're stuck there.
Yeah, I mean,
There's nowhere you can go that Gree won't see you.
I am very surprised they just let Boofy go second here. I mean, I get why, just because, actually where he was located, it would have been very difficult to get the unhook safely without Boofy just going down again, but
yeah,
I don't know if letting him go second was a good idea.
Yeah, we're actually dropping Boofy entirely and swapping over to Villain. He is running to high progress generator, so honestly, maybe this was the right play. And we see Eruption Aura of Lux trying to... Oh no, I think that was not Lux. That was just the aura of the biopod looking like a little fat survivor. And we're just going to be walking around here. We let both of our tunnel outs go, but if he ever finds Boofy again, he is dead. I think we're just going to take the pain res here.
Switching to Villain here might not have been the bad play because, you have Ron on first hook and you have Boofy on second hook here. Finding either of them would be very, very bad for Hysteric here. So I think it was a good decision, especially considering Villain, as you said, was running to a very high prog gen. You have to assume their highest prog.
Yeah, I think what Gree's doing here is he is playing pretty well for this 4K2. If you see here, he has a very nice gen split, and they popped the gen right in front of him. Oh no.
Lux actually going to be taking a tag for it, but I think it was a worthwhile trade. A gen for a tag, I'll take it.
Yeah, wow. They just have to pop one more generator to get the Tycon. Lux just sneaking that that generator under his nose. And we're gonna get the stun here. I'm not gonna get the blind. We know there's another survivor here, and it is Boofy.
Getting Boofy killed here. If he can kill Boofy here before another gen pops, 4K2 is possible. Still difficult, but possible.
We do have Shack Pallet. We're gonna have Overclock still. We're seeing the value of that baseball glove add-on, increasing the overclock duration just enough to be able to hit that Shack Pallet very fast. But we see support onto Boofy's chase. We don't want him dead. We know that any survivor dead here is going to spell disaster for our survivor team. So we are gonna keep supporting Boofy here. We're gonna have to check these generators though, and we do see them EMP'd. Can't really tell the progress, and we're gonna keep chasing Boofy, but I think we're gonna have to drop this very soon.
Yeah, I mean, this chase has already lasted quite some time here. I mean, especially, that at least two of the survivors are cranking against, and one survivor is pocketing Boofy here, trying to just keep Boofy alive here, but 9 gonna be dropped here. We do have info on Lux, so we know where Lux is.
But we can imagine that they're probably doubling that topside generator. This is looking like Gree has lost a lot of his pressure here.
A lot of it, especially considering how good that start was. You can't imagine Gree's doing very good, and that gen pops, and we just saw how close 8 was.
Yeah, this is looking bad. We're gonna want to be playing for this tie condition. in our worst case. We see a body block coming in, and we see Boofy on this generator. If he can get Boofy dead here, this is still okay. But Boofy gonna hold his distance here, and we're gonna get a tag, maybe. No, we're not gonna get the tag, actually.
They're already back on the generator. You can see Boofy is teabagging a little bit. I have to assume here, just because, you know, comp is comp, it wasn't meant necessarily to be toxic, but maybe to play with Gree's mental a little bit here, to keep Gree onto Boofy so that the survivors can continue the generator. But it doesn't look like that's what was happening, because it's still regressing.
Yeah, it's possible, though, that they're on this topside generator. No cameras over there. Green needs something going for him fast, or they're going to be out of this tournament. He needs to get this eye condition. Gotta wonder if it was a very big mistake. Yeah, Boofy just wants him to TP. This is very much looking like a bait. I feel like that topside generator is going to pop any second now. We will want Chase on a Boofy.
Not breaking this pallet could be the make or break thing for Gree here. However, I think we are going to be seeing a down here. Yes, we are. I think personally, maybe you. Yeah. I was going to say.
He can't even commit. Yeah, he can't even pick, or they're going to pop this generator.
Yeah.
Gree playing this well, though. Knows they're greeting for it, but unfortunately, like, Boofy's still alive. This is going to be Luxdown, and we pop the generator, and that is going to be the overall win for Hysteric, with some good killer performances and strong survivor results here. And yeah, that is the win for Hysteric. They're going to be moving on, and Vicinal's dropped out of this tournament.
Considering how good Vicinal's start here was, that is really well played from Hysteric. They were just able to recover from Ron's quick death really well. Got the unhook in a timely fashion. Yes, they allowed Boofy to go second, but it didn't matter because their gem pressure was where it needed to be. Boofy will die, and so will Lux, it looks like. So it's going to be possibly, we're looking at a 2k6er, which is exactly the result that you see if you can't get that tunnel out fast enough. But
definitely think this was, yeah, I definitely think this result was attributed to a big macro mistake from Gree of dropping his tunnel out so often. He needed somebody dead, but consistently chose to go for other people instead of going for his tunnel. Could have chased Boofy when he found them on the edge map, but swapped it over to Ron. Somehow that camera cannot see those two survivors on that gate.
Yeah, this is one of the unfortunate things about Singularity. Some of those cams, just even though you looks like you should be getting those tags, you won't. But a tag coming into Ron here, you have to think Villain is coming in for a body block here in a second to maybe get Ron out.
We do get this TP. And we're going to take the M1 and go for another TP. Hopefully, should be able to catch up to another survivor. Is going to be able to make it to somebody.
One person should die.
One of these people are dead. And it looks like it's Villain. He has been hooked already. And that's going to be the 2 out.
I believe that is a 2k7?
I think 7? Yeah, should be. 2k7.
Yeah.
Wow, very unfortunate game for Gree with an amazing start, exactly what he needed, but just not able to ever get that tunnel out during the game.
Yeah, I mean, even if, you know, the mid-game was even, the start of the mid-game was looking great for him, I think letting Boofy go, or Ron go, after he got that first hook on him, was the major mistake there, because losing him ended up being catastrophic for his
Yeah, just couldn't hold his pressure anymore. Well, thank you guys for coming out and watching tonight. That is the win for Team Hysteric in a very, very long best of 5. They will take it 3-2 over Vicinal, and they will be moving on in this tournament. Very fun matches today. Thank you for joining me, Mario.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you guys next stream.